Little warm for this time of year, but we can deal with it. Sunny skies Saturday, 84, 61 Saturday night, Sunday sunny and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for their honor flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for HVAC services, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
And it's a Friday. Welcome to 97.1 FM Talk in the afternoon. I hope you're getting lunch, and I hope you're spending at least the next hour with us. You'll be glad you did. Jamie Lissow is going to be in studio with us in about 25 minutes from right now. And you know him from his comedy shows. He's been in a lot in series that you've watched. And, of course, you see him as a regular guest on Gutfeld. Hilarious writer and producer, actor and comedian Jamie Lissow in about 25 minutes from right now. A reminder, if you want to watch us as he's going to be in studio, you can join us on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, but you can also stream us on the Odyssey app, Crystal Clear Connection, everywhere you go. So it turns out, yesterday we were talking a little bit about James Comey and the pending indictment, talking with Hans von Spakovsky, among other people, about the timing on that. They have a 5-year statute of limitations that was going to run out on September 30th. And it is today, Friday, September 26th. So they got it in time. Yes, James Comey has officially been indicted. And I think that the real question that we're going to all be asking ourselves very quickly is, okay, is this the moment that everybody has been waiting for? Have you been simmering over the thought of revenge and this is finally it? Or is it justice? Or do you not care? Are you just like, how much does it cost me to fill my cart full of groceries? I think we're talking to people who fall in all of those camps. Maybe some people who are like, who's James Comey? Maybe we'll ask Jamie Lissow all those questions here in a bit. Our poll question for today is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? Justice, revenge, or why not both? I think there are going to be quite a few people who maybe choose the both of it. Fox News reports today, President Donald Trump told reporters Friday that the indictment against former FBI Director James Comey is about pursuing long-standing corruption and not political payback. So the president himself is telling us, no, this isn't a revenge situation. This is about justice. Remember when yesterday I played this clip eventually, and this little montage of Democrats saying over and over and over and over again, no one is above the law. In my house, it sounds like Moana's dad saying, no one goes beyond the reef. If you know, you know. When the Democrats repeatedly, over and over and over again, it was the battle cry of the pursuit, the lawfare that they threw against Donald Trump. No one is above the law. And it turns out that it really feels like if you were somebody who was the most in hot pursuit of trying to get Donald Trump effectively unable to run for office again, God forbid he win a second term in office, if you were one of the lead people trying to seal the deal that Donald Trump would not be qualified or electable to win a second term, that no one is above the law thing is kind of bouncing off the wall like one of those red rubber dodgeballs. It makes that boing sound when it hits it, and it's smacking him right back in the face. Is it revenge to go after Letitia James for mortgage fraud in New York, which is essentially fraudulent documents, is essentially what they got Donald Trump for? With campaign financing, and it was a ledger issue, and Donald Trump's like, I pay people to do these things. If it was marked wrong, they did it. And they're like, but your name, you're the one who hired him. You're the one whose final name is on the documents. That's exactly the same defense that Letitia James is going to need to explain why she has multiple homes listed as her primary residence in order to get more favorable rates. They accused Donald Trump in Mar-a-Lago of overvaluing his property in order to look better on paper to get more favorable financial situation set up for him so he could do business. They said, you overinflated the value of Mar-a-Lago. It's worth $18 million, which is apparently the most laughable thing in real estate. Somehow or another, they got away with it. So they said, you manipulated the system to get yourself a better financial position, and we're going to get you for it. And they were doing the same thing, and maybe even not even knowingly doing the same thing. And that actually came up in the Trump trial in New York. Donald Trump's like, I pay people to do this stuff. If they check this box and not that box, I'm not here trying to defraud anyone. No, nobody was hurt. There was no crime. There's no fraud. There's no victim here. And the true victim was Letitia James's ego, and she had to prove him wrong. And so she did. She got a conviction in court, which is in the appeal process right now. And it turns out that she can be accused of and charged with the same things that she tried to throw against Donald Trump. Does it look like revenge when Donald Trump is going after Letitia James? What about Adam Schiff? Same thing. Senator from California has a place in Virginia, and he's listing his home as a primary residence in both places in order to get more preferable rates. This is the stuff they went after Trump for. And they lay out this groundwork. They set up all the rules. They rewrite all the rules of basic decency, essentially. Because the most important thing at the end of the day is to get Trump. This is classic ends justifies the means logic, and that sucks. Ends justifies the means logic means you've determined what you have to do. Whatever you have to do to get there is justifiable. The end is to get Trump. Whatever you have to do to get Trump is justifiable. And there are a lot of people who truly believe they're doing like patriotic services to their country in the constant pursuit of Trump. But when will they understand that the more that they pursue this man, the more they try to get him, he's like, you cut off one head, 3 more grow back. He just gets bigger. He gets larger. He gets more powerful with each and every attack on this man that they levy at him. And now they're in a position to take a dose of their own medicine. Should people in power be held accountable for these things or not? I am of the mind that holding them accountable for the things that they believe people should be held accountable for is not a vindictive thing to do. It's to be expected. How could they look at this and I mean, other than to try to pander to the people who wake up in the morning and their first thought is, gosh, how am I going to get to hate Donald Trump today? It's like exciting for them. And they go to bed and they think about all of the ways I hated Donald Trump today. It was a good day. I filled my day with anger and hatred and fear of what Donald Trump is doing to this country. And I did a great job today. I was dejected the whole day. Look at me go. God bless America. Are we supposed to not pay attention to the things these folks were doing while they were trying to throw lawfare against then President Donald Trump, candidate Donald Trump, and now President Donald Trump? I don't think we turned a blind eye to this.
It began before I got to office. You know that. Wait a minute. Before I came to office, I started hearing rumors about Russia. I said, what the hell do I have to do with Russia? Nothing. And then it got worse and worse, and some of the fakers, not you, but some of the fake news picked it up and they loved it. And we went through a long time with that. And despite that, we had a great first term.
Because that's how it went. Because that's how it went, where they made you go and take a mugshot. Is this more about justice or is it about revenge?
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it.
And they can't get away with it. That's what the president says there. And you have to ask yourself, what would revenge look like? Revenge would be to take people who wronged you and to seek out a way to wrong them back. Isn't that kind of what revenge is? I mean, I guess there doesn't have to be an inherent wrong in the picture in order for revenge to actually occur. But I've got a question. wouldn't the true revenge that Americans should be concerned about regarding the likes of James Comey or maybe Adam Schiff or Letitia James or any of these other characters who continuously seem to be completely just dead set? Their whole point in government is to try to take Trump down. Wouldn't revenge look like manufacturing something against these individuals? To try to bring them down, to try to tie them up? Wouldn't lawfare look like something that was manufactured against them? Something that wasn't real. Something that you dig up and you contrive. Something that you got together in rooms that were closed-door meetings in secret, where you planned and you plotted to try to do something to take those individuals out. Wouldn't that be what revenge would look for? I mean, at least in the negative sense. If the Democrats have said for years now, over a decade, over and over and over again, that no one is above the law, do they mean it or do they not mean it? Which one is it? Because if no one is above the law, and it's plain and simple, evidentiary on paper, that these individuals broke the law, defrauded the government or the banking system or whoever is defrauded when you don't tell the truth about your primary residences, if these individuals actually did it, and it's easily provable in a court of law. And if it's not easily provable in a court of law, then I'm going to be pretty unhappy myself. Why are you wasting our time with this? If it is easily provable, and no one is above the law, why would we not play their game with them and beat them at it to get them to stop? Are we supposed to permit this type of behavior? Are the Republicans supposed to continuously, over and over and over again, take the punch over and over and over again? And then when we get into the position where we have a little bit of authority because the American people are so disgusted with those individuals who have had the levers of power under the Joe Biden auto pen administration, are we supposed to get power and be like, well, now we're going to show you how to do this the upstanding, nice way? Here's Chuck Todd.
He is doing what he believes was done against him. There's no evidence that it was. But he doesn't care, and he just sees, hey, eye for an eye, right? This is sort of Old Testament justice in his head. Eye for an eye. You indicted my guy, me. I'm going to figure out how to get back at you.
So Chuck Todd thinks this is solely, completely, and justly revenge. That's all that there is to it. He says there's no evidence that there was lawfare against Donald Trump. Imagine a guy who's been covering the news for the last decade not being able to see this. He's corrupted. When he can't see, where are my resident chat Democrats when you need them? How many charges were there against Donald Trump? How many felonies was he accused of, charged with? New York, Mar-a-Lago, Georgia, over and over and over and over again. Things are constructed against him, contrived against him, thrown at him, and they just fall apart. They just fall apart. And in New York, if you want to uphold some sort of conviction that came out of a ridiculous trial that is currently under appeal and will probably get tossed out, we'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. If you want to look at every instance of what has been thrown at this man, he wins over and over and over again. And even in the conviction that Letitia James got, it turns out she's guilty of the same damn thing that he was. And you're telling me for a hot second that Donald Trump's supposed to sit out prosecuting her for that? Or that his administration is supposed to sit out prosecuting her for that? Or the people of New York are supposed to sit out prosecuting for her for that? Why would this stuff ever stop if one side always gets to get away with it? That's how we got here. I don't think that this indictment is revenge, but I bet for Donald Trump it feels good. And I don't mind that at all. He can sit back. He better sit back. Let the Justice Department handle its business. Do this by the book, publicly by the book, in every way, shape, and form. And when the Letitia Jameses, the Adam Schiffs, and now the James Comey, who has just received an indictment for lying under oath, they've got the video and they've got the proof that he lied, when they have received from a grand jury this indictment of perjury, somebody stop make me prove why this should happen. Someone explain to me why it shouldn't happen. Don't talk to me about Donald Trump and this is revenge. Remember I said this yesterday. They never say that the guy was innocent. The guy who's been indicted, no one's out there talking about how innocent he is. They're trying to say, no, don't look at that. Look over here, Donald Trump, revenge. I need you to take the revenge bait. Please take the revenge bait. This is really, really not looking good for us. And we're starting to line up the people who sought to get Trump, and they're all guilty of something. And if we go by our rules, no one is above the law. We're cooked. Are they defending Comey or are they attacking Trump? That's how you know how screwed they feel. Let me know if you think James Comey's indictment is a pursuit of justice or revenge, maybe both. It's on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We're going to take a quick break. In about 10 minutes, we're going to get Jamie Lissow in here. We'll set up the rest of the show for you when we come back. Go vote in the poll. Maybe I'll read a couple of your comments when we return. Don't go away.
The way it once did, I won't keep it up, even though I would love to. Once I know who I'm not, then I'll know who I am. But I know I won't keep on playing the victim. These precious illusions.
The retirementkey.com website is where you can go sign up for the Thursday, October 2nd. Protecting Your Retirement educational event. I'm going to be there. Would love to see you there from 6 to 6:30. I'm meeting folks along with Mark Cox and Mark Reardon. We're going to get together and say hi. We give this is a great opportunity to meet some listeners and to have a conversation with you. But then at 6:30 promptly, we have Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw. They take over for like 45 minutes total. Free event. Comes with snacks. It's at the Frontenac Hilton, Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30. And you can answer some questions like this. Do you have your own personalized structured income plan set up? Do you know what you're going to do? What that money is going to look like in retirement? Do you know how long it's going to last? Are you wondering if your 401k and IRA are going to last through your lifetime? These are smart questions to ask, but you definitely are a smart person if you seek out the answers, especially at a free event like this one. You do need to sign up Thursday, October 2nd at 6:30 p.m. I'll get there at 6. Would love to meet you. RetirementKey.com.
When it comes to roofing, you can't go wrong with Corel Roofing. Mark Cox here. My friend Curtis Corel came out, looked at my roof, worked with my insurance adjuster. I got a new roof, new gutters, and even new screens on some of my windows. Curtis specializes in working with insurance companies. Even if you've been denied, he's often able to work with these insurance adjusters to find a way to get it covered. Here's something else Curtis tells me. With cooler weather coming, you need to be aware of something. Roofs cannot be installed if the temperature dips below 45 degrees. Some companies go ahead and do this anyway, but you're going to have problems down the road. So if you're concerned that your roof won't make it through the winter, call Curtis Corel today. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience. They pay attention to detail, and they can work with all the luxury line roofing as well. Call Curtis at 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. Or on Facebook at Corel Roofing Co.
Get ready, because here they come.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's Beatlemania all over again with the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute to the Beatles. Entertainment Tonight says seeing the Fab Four is just like seeing the Beatles.
Hey Jude.
The Fab Four takes you through the 60s with the music that changed our lives. It's a show you won't want to miss.
Saturday, October 4th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon.
Something tells me I'm into something good.
And the Lovin' Spoonful.
Do you believe in magic?
Saturday, October 25th at the Family Arena with the Hollies' greatest hits, starring Terry Sylvester. Get tickets now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Herman's Hermits, starring Peter Noon and the Lovin' Spoonful.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I get up, I get down, and I'm jumping around. And the rumpus and rug is so comfortable now. Been a hell of a ride, but I'm thinking it's time to grow. So I got an apartment.
The song's a big favorite of Molly, my 4-year-old. And she can sing the whole beginning of it, but she just kind of gets stuck in the I go up, we go down. We go up, we go down. We go up, we go down. She's cute. We're talking about the YouTube poll today. Is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? Give us your thoughts. Justice, revenge. Why not both? Those are the options on the youtube.com/@AnnieFry, where you can find us. Bobo says the left will say revenge. I say justice. Revenge is the cherry on top. Russell said justice, although the auto pen must have run out of ink before they could pardon him for past and future crimes. I don't think Hillary Clinton's a very big fan of James Comey. I think Hillary Clinton places a lot of blame in James Comey's lap for the way he handled emails and all that stuff in the last week of October in 2016. I don't think she's a big fan. I don't know if that has effect. Who is controlling the auto pen? For every question I have a question that needs to be answered before it, basically. Scoot says there's no separation between the Department of Justice and Trump's desire for retribution. And Grant says, not political payback, but what is good for the goose is good for the gander. I like it. We also hear, just kind of discussed today, not in a really detailed way, that there might be possibly a solution formulating around Gaza. And when Donald Trump makes a suggestion that says that we might be pretty close to that, everybody goes, what? But there's still not a ton of news on it. So we're gonna wait and see if something about that ends up surfacing, I should say, before the end of the show. At the UN, Netanyahu today was giving a speech, and right when he was starting to give a speech, there's a bunch of people who got up and left the UN. Is the UN did anybody else have a problem with the escalator at the UN? Is it just the First Lady and President Trump who tried to step on the escalator and it stopped? Has anybody else had a problem with the teleprompter at the UN? If it is, I've missed it. I'm open to being corrected. But why is it that the President of the United States, where the UN is located, why is it that America is being treated this way? And you got, are you thinking it's from within? I certainly am. Fox News reports Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's speech at the United Nations General Assembly was blasted across Gaza for Palestinians to hear. Thanks to a scheme from Israeli intelligence, the Prime Minister said he wanted to speak directly to the 20 living hostages who remain in Hamas captivity. You've heard President Trump, I'm interjecting here, but you've heard President Trump talking about the hostages. First and foremost, there's everything that could be happening between Israel and Gaza, all the negotiations that need to be take place, everything that needs to be resolved. But in the midst of all of that, he's like, give me the hostages back, give us the hostages back, and do it right now, and do it all at once. Which is an appropriate way to address the situation, in my opinion. Netanyahu said, I want to do something I've never done before. I want to speak from this forum directly to those hostages through loudspeakers. I've surrounded Gaza with massive loudspeakers connected to this microphone in the hope that our dear hostages will hear my message. Netanyahu's office said he had ordered his speech to be played over loudspeakers from the Israeli side of the border with Gaza. Israel does things differently. This is, imagine the United States setting up speakers on the border wall and blasting it over into Mexico, being, sending a message, maybe to the government, maybe to the cartels, the people who are actually facilitating the trafficking of children, the trafficking of humans across that border for money, taking the kids across the border to get people into the United States, and then bringing the kids back south of the border so they can do it again and again. Netanyahu also went on to say, thanks to special efforts by Israeli intelligence, my words are now also being carried. They're streamed live through the cell phones of Gazans. But Israel's Channel 12 reported the Israeli Defense Forces, IDF, that's how we often refer to them, had been ordered to set up speakers and broadcast a speech inside the Gaza Strip, not on the border. Quote, to Netanyahu's regret, he is not Kim Jong-un, and the Israeli army does not need to broadcast the ruler's speech over loudspeakers while endangering soldiers in the field. the opposition leader Yair Lapid wrote on X. It's an unsettled world that we live in right now, and we're waiting to see if tomorrow will be a calmer day, as per the usual. Well, the next segment, I think it's going to be calmer. It's going to be funnier, that's for sure, because Jamie Lissow is coming to sit in with us for a couple of segments. And, of course, he is here in town to perform at the Funny Bone. But you guys are great. You already sold out a show. So you can check him out at jamielissow.com. Also on Instagram at I am Jamie Lissow. Also, you can check him out here on 97.1 next. Let's have some fun with Jamie Lissow next. Don't go away.
Feel like I'm gonna puke, cause my taxes are due. Do my password begin with a 1 or a 2? Been a hell of a ride.
If you experienced some of the rain that came through and your basement went and got wet, if you are realizing right now that you are not going to be able to continue with the basement the way it is, and you need to do something about it, you're going to want to invest that money with somebody who you can trust. 314-227-9636. That's the number to call Home Shield Foundation Repair. 314-227-9636. You can also go online to homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com. Here's what you can expect when the installation of their waterproofing system comes into your home. It's always kind of feeling like it's intrusive. You have people crawling around in your basement, but finally, you're not going to have to worry every time those waves of thunderstorms come into our area. Their team of experienced technicians will handle the installation of your waterproofing system with precision and with care, and they use only high-quality materials, the highest of quality materials, and latest techniques to make sure that your system is installed correctly the first time, and it will provide you the long-lasting results that let you breathe easy no matter the forecast. Call Matt Hayes and his amazing team to waterproof your basement at 314-227-9636. That's 314-227-9636. Online at homeshieldfoundationrepairs.com.
Life's unpredictable and full of unknowns, but your vehicle shouldn't be. No one wants to face an unexpected repair that could derail their plans and budget. That's why we're introducing CarShield, the ultimate way to future-proof your ride. We're not just about fixing problems, we're about preventing financial surprises. You can get a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan designed to save you from out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Imagine driving with complete peace of mind, knowing that if something goes wrong, you'll pay almost nothing for covered repairs. Included in every plan is free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. This protection plan is at an all-time low, making it accessible to any driver. Don't wait for a breakdown to realize you need coverage. Invest in the future of your vehicle and your wallet today. Call CarShield now for your free quick quote. Call 800-908-8646. That's 800-908-8646. Future-proof your ride. Call CarShield now. 800-908-8646. 800-908-8646. Again, 800-908-8646.
We've been here 30 years. 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right nice soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Well, today's YouTube live chat poll is James Comey's indictment, the pursuit of justice or revenge? We have three options for you: justice, revenge, or why not both? You can vote on Annie's YouTube page, youtube.com/@AnnieFry. The time is 12:32. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From Collinsville to Chesterfield, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I stretch my hands out to the sky. We
Best day of my life. This is Jamie Lissow and my new favorite comedian, Matt Bergman, are now in studio with us. Hi, guys.
Oh,
What's
that's
up?
very
What's
nice.
up? Good morning.
Who's funnier?
Jamie.
It's tied.
You're saying that because you're the opener for him.
Yeah, of course. No, he really is. That's I would say that regardless. There's he's another level of a comedian at this point.
Is he
so
right?
I make him very uncomfortable.
I'm
by
getting
giving
very
him praise.
uncomfortable right now. I get uncomfortable with compliments, so I don't get uncomfortable very often.
I can relate to that. What do
Mm-hmm.
you do when someone says something nice about you?
Just what I'm doing now, which is I don't know what to say, and I start to stammer.
Panic?
Yeah.
A little bit of panic?
That's why my marriage. I got remarried
Yes.
recently, but that's why my first marriage was so good. There was no compliments. I never felt uncomfortable.
Man.
Super cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out, huh?
Did not work out.
But for the best for you, congratulations.
Yeah,
on-
there's some red flags back then. We got to forgive our younger selves, by the way, just in general, because if we think about all the mistakes we make. Because when I was in that relationship with my ex, I was going past red flags like an Olympic downhill skier. I was just slapping them as I went by.
So you're at the Funny Bone this weekend in St. Charles, correct?
At St. Charles, yeah.
But you're sold out, and I think that your name is so renowned now in the St. Louis area. You've been here enough times. I've seen your show. The people see you're coming, and they just scoop them up.
It's wild. I like to advertise things that you can't go to.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing here today.
I say, I don't have the show times, and they're like, they're sold out. And I said this to you off air, but I'm like, why are you still coming on the radio? Thank you.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that.
Can I tell you a true story? This is not a bit. Bergman can attest. Ron from the club can attest. I love St. Louis and feel St. Charles also. I feel the support from here because the first time I started to do Gutfeld and started to see a little bit of traction, me and Bergman had gone. I'll tell you a quick story. We went to Raleigh, North Carolina. It was the first gig I did. I was opening for Rob Schneider, and they go, "Hey, you're on Gutfeld. We're getting these ratings. I'd done it 5 times." They go, "We're going to book you. You got to start doing your own shows." Like, all right, me and Bergman are having lunch, and I go, "I wonder if anyone's going to come." Like, I'm nervous. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, "Sometimes you can go on your phone and you can check like the seating chart of the club and see if any tickets are sold." I pull up my phone, and there's a 6 o'clock show and an 8 o'clock show, and as I look at my phone, it says sold out for the 8 o'clock show. I go, "Bergman, I think I just sold out my first show after 25 years of comedy." Bergman had a tear in his eye.
Yeah?
He really did. There was also a cat there. He's allergic to cats. So I don't know. But
Well,
Could
you
have been
think about
either.
after all these years of like selling no tickets, and by the way, I just want to correct. It was the 10:30 show. It was the late show that I
10:30
think
show.
sold out, which is even
The late
crazier.
crowd, huh?
That's an even harder one to sell out.
Yeah.
So my phone rings. It's my agent. And I go, "Oh, he's probably going to tell me the show sold out. I'll just act surprised, you know?" And so I go, "Hello." And he goes, "Hey, man, I just want to make you aware of something. Your late show in Raleigh, we'd only sold 3 tickets.
Oh, no.
And so we've canceled the show. But don't worry, we wrote sold out on the website to trick people." I go, "You did a good job." I go, "I'm the guy. You tricked me."
That's, I mean.
It was awful.
There's a lot of radio in that, but I could see how it also fits the comedy world, too.
Yeah, I have not had a. I've not had
entertainment.
I hadn't had a 180 of emotion like that since this one time my ex-wife told me she loved me, and I realized she was on a Bluetooth talking to some guy. But we just went back to Raleigh. We sold out 5 shows. We're here in St. Charles. So I tell that story because it ends well. And next week will be my 150th appearance on Gutfeld. It's been a journey, so it's good to be back.
If I will tell you that my whole family, and when I say my whole family, so Gutfeld is on in our house. Fox News is on in our house. Like while we're making dinner and stuff, I'm just checking the news, kind of keeping my eye on it, stopping to pay attention. Oh, Comey's been indicted. I need to listen to this, and then some of the other stuff. I'm like, eh. But when we see that Jamie Lissow is going to be on Gutfeld, my 15-year-old son in particular is like, "Oh, we got to watch that." And then I sit there very nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, he thinks you're hilarious. I think you're hilarious, but I don't feel comfortable thinking we shouldn't think it's hilarious in the same room.
I don't blame you.
Yeah?
I don't blame you at all. This Comey thing, I was reading about on the way here, and I was thinking, I didn't even know that you could indict someone for false statements. I started thinking about those wedding vows my ex-wife did. Yeah, I should have known. There another red flag. I remember during the vows, she goes, "In good times," and that's it.
They just give me the bell. I have the bell now.
One of those red flags down the ski slope, I think, right there.
We love your bell. They have a bell in studio. It's one of these things. Oh, you can't. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Use the other
Do you
one.
want the good bell?
It's good. It's a good radio.
The second one is the bell for sound. The other one is the bell for looks.
Yeah.
That's all there is to it.
I actually have one of these with me at all times, and like if it's time to go to the show, and my wife Erica is taking too long to get ready, I just go. You know what I mean?
And then what?
I go, "Hey, time to leave. Time to come out here."
Is that she like respond to that? Like
Not-
Pavlov's dog?
Not very well.
Pavlov dog,
It's
right?
weird. She does start salivating, which is weird. That's very odd.
She's always asking for a snack. So you're going to be in St. Charles tonight. It seems like every time you've come back to the area, it's sold out faster and faster. It seems like in the past I've been like, well, these shows are sold out, but you could still grab maybe the late show on a Saturday night or something. How much is Gutfeld, like what percentage of being on the Gutfeld show has made this easy for you?
What is the highest percentage? 100? Honestly, it's like it's 99%. It's
because you had done a lot
changer.
before you were on the Gutfeld show. It's not the sum total of what you've done.
Yeah, and what's weird is I remember having this conversation with Craig Robinson. You know, Craig Robinson who was in The Office and stuff. And I remember talking to him, and he was saying when he did The Office, everyone was like, "Oh, dude, you're going to sell out all these comedy clubs," and he was like, "Not really." Like, it was a very good role, but it was like Hot Tub Time Machine for him that started selling. He's like, you just never know. And so I had like the show on Netflix with Rob Schneider, but it never really moved the needle. Gutfeld, the first time I went on, I was opening for Rob Schneider that weekend, and I just mentioned it at the end of the show, and 70 people bought tickets, and I was the opener. And I go, oh, I got to do this show more.
Do they do comment? Do people do stand up comedy? I mean, I've been, the one show, one live show that I went to was in L.A. and I went to Family Feud.
I love that show
by Louis Anderson.
It's my favorite show.
Louis Anderson days. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know how long that time frame was, but I learned the warm up guy who comes out and gets the crowd kind of going and stuff. So when the show starts, there's some energy in the room. Does Gutfeld do that?
Gutfeld does. We do have a guy named Gene
Yeah?
who goes up and does about 10, 15 minutes. He's that's a very specific skill, by the way.
Yeah.
Warming up a show like that. I could not do it. Like what Matt Bergman does when he opens for me. He's just like a really good comedian that headlines everywhere, but he'll take a break and open for like TJ Miller or me or whatever. Bergman, by the way, coming back to St. Charles to headline.
Yeah.
So if you can't get into my show.
And you can't get tickets for Jamie this weekend, I'll do his entire act.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
And you'll be there.
Word for word. So it's basically like seeing
January.
Jamie. January 29th through February 1st.
Are tickets up for sale
Tickets
right now?
just went on sale today.
Well, then go sell that show out before they leave. How about that?
Yes.
Matt Bergman, January 29th through February 1st. You can check out Matt Bergman. You two partnered up. It sounds like you've been working together, known each other for a while.
I'm from Buffalo, New York originally. Jamie's from Rochester. So he was like, at the time, and once again, more compliments. Get ready. Get the bell ready.
The silver one.
Yeah, exactly. He had done like Tonight Show with Leno at the time, and like everyone in Buffalo like looked up to him and stuff like that. The first time I met him, I thought he was talking about me through a karaoke singer.
Oh, this is a great story.
And we
True story.
almost didn't become friends.
True story.
Yeah. We worked in South Bend, Indiana together. It was a Tuesday through Sunday, so we have to live together in a condo. And so after the first show, I bombed the first show. He does great, very funny. And he's a couple local comics say, hey, do you want to come to this karaoke bar with us? And I had my car, and Jamie was like, can you drive me? I was like, of course. So he's like, I'm running upstairs real fast, change, I'll be down in 10 minutes. So a couple local comics are like, hey, man, we're going to my car to smoke. Do you want to smoke with us? And at the time, I didn't really smoke a lot of that stuff.
By the way, when people say, do you want to smoke, they never mean cigarettes.
They never
or
mean
herbs.
cigarettes.
Yeah, so
They never mean cigarettes.
So it's a drug.
But I just want I want them to like me. So I go, sure. And so they pass and so they're like, do you smoke a lot? I go, all the time.
Is that a lie?
Of course.
Yeah, big lie.
So I take like 4 or 5 hits of this stuff. Jamie, by the way, has no idea I smoked, which is very important in the story. So I get out of the car. He comes down. I drive him to the karaoke bar. We're having a great time.
Especially you.
A terrible karaoke singer goes on stage, and they make fun of how bad the karaoke singer is.
Yeah, she's like, do you have any requests? And I'm like, yeah, could you play at another time? could you do something else? Remember, it was like a bunch of...
Yeah, that one hit me. He's like, can you do something else? And they're all laughing, and I go, oh my gosh. They're talking about how bad of a comedian I am through the karaoke singer.
This is insane, right?
And it was
You're
too
like a
late.
woman.
It's in my head. It's spiraling out of control. I left him there. I told him I knew he was talking about me through the karaoke singer. If you don't think I'm funny, I respect you. I think you're so funny. But please, I was about to break down. So I left and I drove back to the condo. I was about to cancel. I left him there. I was his ride, by the way. And that's how it started off.
And here you are.
And here we are.
Yeah.
Which I think he just felt bad for me. He's like, oh, he saw through me. So for 20 years, he's been playing this game of like he wasn't talking about me through the karaoke singer.
Annie, I was talking about it.
Well, we like to break news here on the Annie Fry Show as much as possible. And how long ago was that?
It's got to be about 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're still talking about it. I love that.
Yeah.
So what's it like to bomb? Do you still, you can't, there's no way you can't bomb, can you? You're past that.
When you're coming up like with it, well, you know what? There's always corporate shows. So like when you do a corporate show, it's always like a really difficult situation.
Isn't this a great example of grief to dollar ratio?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Like it sucks, but I'm banking.
I feel like I'm more consistent. If you're at a comedy club, it's probably going to go well. But if it's a weird situation, I did a show not that long. I was in like North Carolina, and it was like this corporate thing. And when I got there, they go, "Hey, we got some bad news. The air conditioning just went out. It's the middle of summer."
So
They go, "This
really
place was packed." They go, "Now it's like super hot," and everyone just left. There's only like 20 people left. Would you still do the show? And I go, "Yeah, I don't care." And so I'm in, North Carolina. It's like 8 p.m. and they open the windows in order to get like some ventilation in there. And I swear, every time I told the joke and nobody laughed, I actually heard crickets, literally like outside the window.
That's like a personal conversation.
Yeah, and what's interesting about bombing is, as I was bombing, half of me felt awful about myself, and the other half couldn't wait to tell my friends. I was like, this is so horrible. I cannot wait to share this
It was
with
like
people.
the sausage making of good
Yeah,
comedy.
exactly.
That's funny.
Exactly.
Well, can you guys stick around for till the end of the hour? Are you cool?
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, we've got Matt Bergman in studio here at Bergman Comedy on all the socials, and of course Jamie Lissow, who they're both in St. Charles tonight, but you didn't get your tickets fast enough. So the next time they come, you need to hurry up and get your tickets so that you don't miss out. And you can get Matt Bergman tickets at the end of January. You can follow Jamie Lissow online at I am Jamie Lissow. You have such funny stuff on your Instagram account. It's a great follow. Also jamielissow.com. All right, let's get Ethan in here. Maybe we'll do a little Be or Not to Be next. Don't go away.
No, just don't wake me now. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life. This is gonna be the best day of my life. My life.
Scott Jennings here. I'm excited to be part of the St. Louis conservative conversation, cutting through the noise with unfiltered common sense.
Scott Jennings.
Weekdays at 8 p.m.
on 97.1 FM Talk.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
This is Kyle Bush with Cringe Financial Group. For over 6 decades, we've helped St. Louis families and businesses plan with purpose and live with confidence. How many times have you changed jobs over the years? If you're like many professionals, you may have left behind one or more 401ks. Unwatched, unmanaged, and potentially your largest retirement asset. Just because it's out of sight doesn't mean it should be out of mind. Let's make sure it's working as hard for your future as you are. Your goals, our mission, start today at kfgadvisors.com.
Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc. Member FINRA/SIPC. Prince Financial Group is not a broker-dealer.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Rooted in faith, grounded in family. We're back with more truth. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
The Bee or not the Bee.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We got Ethan in here. I was going to say, if you were Ryan, I would say the least funny person, Ethan. But I don't like making fun of you like I like making fun of Ryan, who is out until Tuesday. We do have Jamie Lissow and Matt Bergman in here. Matt Bergman is opening up for Jamie Lissow in the streets of St. Charles tonight. I think you'd probably say to the people listening, Jamie, that if you've not been to a stand-up comedy show, I think a lot of people in the Fox News world, you guys are like the gateway drug to going to want to see all the comedians. Like once you go to see one, you're like, I don't know what I've been missing this whole time.
I had that experience as a kid, like going to my first comedy show, and it's absolutely one of the coolest live events. Because you can see a play, which is, I love seeing a play,
yeah.
But there's something about stand-up where the show you see that night will never be done again. Even if some of the jokes, it's just something about it being a real experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Come on out.
When we saw you I think it was the first time Well, it was the first time I came to see you. And I don't know if you remember doing this joke, but we have a gentleman's club named PTs.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about.
I think I remember what I said.
From a you'll never see the show again, because it's very specific to St. Louis, and you, I think, asked a question to somebody, and somebody said PTs. And you're like,
I remember.
Maybe we've been abbreviating this the whole time.
Yeah, and I go, I think I know what the P and the T mean.
And you stitched it through the entire, and my husband and I, every time we are like driving down 64 or whatever where PTs is, we talk about you. How do you feel about that?
Because I remember we went to D&B's by mistake once.
Completely different place. Completely different group of people.
There it
is. Ethan's filling in for Ryan today. We're going to do a little B or not the B. This is where Ethan's going to give us headlines, and we're going to determine, is this a real headline or is this the Babylon Bee? Ethan?
So we'll go ahead and get started with our first one here. The headline: Hillary says we all must stop pointing fingers, as we all know the Republicans are to blame.
That happened.
That's,
Man, it seems real.
Not to be, right?
I think that was like a 22-second clip, and she said, we need to stop doing this. Republicans have been doing it, and it needs to stop. I think that was the 22-second clip.
Yeah.
Is it the real?
It's real.
So this did happen, but the story is a little bit satire to where this is from the Bee. It says, while appearing on MSNBC's Morning Joe, former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton called for unity amidst the onslaught of political violence, saying we must all stop pointing fingers. As we all know, the Republicans are to blame. Let's just say it. White men of a certain persuasion, certain religion, certain point of view, certain ideology are literally destroying America, Clinton told host Joe Scarborough. Why are we bickering amongst ourselves when Republicans are allowed to walk freely? It's time to stop demonizing both sides and pointing fingers instead, and point fingers at Republicans. And she later said, am I not merciful? She offering her hand for Scarborough to kiss.
Jamie, is there any chance that Hillary Clinton still has presidential aspirations?
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. Don't you think? I feel like it might be over. I feel like that page is turned.
Speaking of turning pages, have you read Kamala Harris's book or any excerpts from it?
I read just the first 5 pages, and then it just repeats over and over. And so I wish, you know what would make me, I'm an audiobook person.
Same.
Would you guys not read/listen to her book if she got progressively more drunk throughout the reading of the book?
You could change the speed with which you listen
Yeah.
to it. You could probably just make
Wouldn't
that
that
happen.
be great? I looked at the end of the book, and the sources were just different types of liquors.
Do you think she'll run again?
I do. I know she says no. In her book, one of the quotes in her book was something like, she did say, I'm done with elected offices. And I was like, I don't think that's your decision. I think that was the voters that decided you were.
Nice spin, though.
I have a weird feeling she runs. She said no, but she says a lot of stuff and goes back on it, right? And so
Yes.
I think there's a chance.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What sage wisdom has she shown us that would suggest that she would make the right choice in this?
Yeah. Isn't it weird, too, like Kamala comes out with that book and she's like, here's all the stuff I was really thinking back then. Trump could never have a book like that. He already told us.
Yeah.
Like, he actually, she was like, I should have said this. This was happening.
Yeah, she was completely managed, which apparently is what Joe Biden was as well.
Yeah.
Next headline.
Kamala's audiobook lets you pick which Kamala accent you want to hear.
Amazing.
Softball.
Amazing.
It's got to be a B.
It is indeed the Bee. The new memoir by the former vice president will include a revolutionary new feature as publishers announced that Kamala Harris's audiobook lets you pick which accent you want to hear for each chapter. These include Black, very Black, Hispanic, vaguely Indian, Southern, Jamaican, and Klingon.
Jamie?
I love it. I love this.
She had to see you.
That's a B.
That's a B.
It's got to be a B. I remember when she was going to the border and people were like, Kamala shouldn't go to the border. I was like, I want to hear her Mexican accent.
We haven't heard that one yet.
Her audiobook with Gilbert Godfrey would have been amazing.
Amazing.
Could you imagine?
No. I don't want to imagine. What do you got?
Moving on here, next headline. Trump says president of Somalia didn't want to take Ilhan Omar back.
That happened.
That's a real headline.
That happened
isn't it?
from the Oval Office.
I would think that's a real headline only because he would not know the president of Somalia's name. He would just... So.
I feel like if it's a B article, the writer should be fired for it not being funny.
Yeah,
I'm going to say real. I'm going real.
It is indeed real. Trump quoted saying, "I met the head of Somalia. Did you know that?" Trump told
the head of
reporters
Somalia. He doesn't even know. Is it emperor? Is it president? Is it king?
The head. I'm running for head of Somalia.
Quote continues, and I suggested that maybe he'd like to take her back, and he said, "I don't want her."
Well.
Only President Trump. Only President Trump. Moving on here to the next one in the B or not the B. U.S. begs Bridget Macron to please not submit photographic proof that she is a woman.
That's a great joke. So that's a great one.
That's a B.
What do you make of all of that?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you mean in general, like in the whole?
Just the whole. I mean, like I'm just openly gonna say, like the Candace Owens stuff. I just stay far away from it.
Yeah, I kind of do. Too.
There's nothing there for me.
Yeah.
And if any of it materializes into something factual, I'll report on it then. But the Bridget Macron stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of stay at a distance.
I don't know.
Let it play out.
If we find out the truth here, then what?
Right.
What happens next?
Right. I don't know. I would like to see the photos, though.
Why not?
You know, just take a quick
There's
look.
worse stuff out there.
Yeah.
Let me read this quote. Bridget Macron, we know you have been baselessly slandered, but we urge you to please reconsider this, said Bob Smith, the spokesperson for America.
Bob Smith.
Please spare us. If you release these photos, they will be in our social media feeds for weeks, and we'll have to gouge our eyes out with ice picks. Please do not do this.
That's real.
It'll be meme worthy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's one story that I kind of like peek around the corner. I'm like, is it still out? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. I'm good.
One more? We have time for one more
Yeah,
here?
let's do
Okay.
one more.
Americans return to not watching Jimmy Kimmel by choice.
Oh, gosh. I need an extra at least 1 minute because I need to ask you about Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay. Would love to.
All right.
That's a B.
Is there anything? Do you find Jimmy Kimmel to be funny? I've heard a lot of industry people say that he's actually a really genuinely great guy, and that they really appreciate. They don't love what he's doing with the show, but they have nice things to say about who he is as a person.
Yeah, and like I don't know Kimmel. I've never met him in person, but I'm hang with Corolla all the time, and he always says like, Jimmy's the greatest guy ever, man. It's almost like everyone's sort of a character, and you end up sort of forming this. You know, and I feel like I do wish all of those guys. I think you should have to have a joke.
Yes.
Not just an opinion. And I feel like, say you have it, let's at least have two jokes surrounding your opinion. When I'm watching what's supposed to be like what someone took over from Carson, like Carson was famously said, like, no one will ever know who I vote for. That's not what this position is about.
Yeah.
That's when I do get irritated. But like Kimmel's monologue last night, we watched in the car and we left. We go, this guy, like, you know, but I do feel like he used to be a little more fun, a little more funnier, but now I feel like he's using that position maybe, and I don't get it. Like if you're watching Kimmel, you probably voting his way already, so it's like an echo. I don't think anyone's changing their mind. No one's ever like, yeah, Kimmel said that, and so I'm just I don't know. I don't have a lot of patience for it. I think it's about, even in my show, I'm on Fox News, and if a bunch of people came to my show last night and they go, oh my God, we bought our tickets, we're super liberal, we didn't realize who you were until we were like way into this, we heard people talking, and they go, we had a great time. Like, there's no part of my show that's going to make you feel stupid or vilified or where you choose a team. So I sometimes feel like entertainment should be kept as entertainment.
Yeah, I'm like asking myself, what is Jimmy Kimmel doing a show for? So you're saying there has to be a joke. If he doesn't want to do jokes, then just be honest with the American people about what kind of. It's not a comedy show.
Right. Go on a different channel. Right. Don't do it the public. Don't, you know,
or tell
license.
ABC that you want to do a news commentary show that might be funny from time to time for people who hate Donald Trump.
Do you guys feel like, you know who I feel bad for? Stephen Colbert. Do you feel like Colbert's like, man, I should have said something negative about Mega?
Yeah, there's still time for that. The B.
It is indeed
the B.
It is.
Jamie Lissow, Matt Bergman in St. Charles tonight. You missed your opportunity to get tickets for this show, but you can go to jamielissow.com. You will not be disappointed. And get the tickets for Matt Bergman, January 29th through February 1st, coming back to St. Charles. Guys, thank you so much.
Love it. Thanks for having us. I love the B, by the way. I used to be married to one. Hey, little, you know what I mean?
We'll be right back.
All right. Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
AirComfortService.com. Shopping for a new furnace, a new HVAC system. It's not really something you necessarily go out and look for on a weekend because you're like, oh, I got some time. It's usually an emergency when it comes up, and you need to be able to go to someone who's going to get you back into that comfort zone very quickly. Right now in September, the weather's not too terribly hot, not too terribly cold, so you might have a little more time to make a decision right now on what you're going to do for your furnace for this coming winter. I really encourage you to reach out to Air Comfort Service and talk to them about doing a heating system check on your system. They'll come out and help you understand exactly what kind of condition that your furnace is in. They'll be able to do a maintenance check on it. They'll be able to do any tune-ups that need to be done. And if you know that you're probably close to being able to have to to replace the whole thing, you're going to be in a position to know what your options are. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Reach out to Air Comfort Service and tell them Annie sent you. AirComfortService.com.
KFTK FM Florissant.
An Odyssey station.
The clock's ticking in Washington. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, with 5 days left to avoid a government shutdown.
Democrats are not going to go along to get along.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Republicans are gutting health care. President Trump accuses Democrats of making unreasonable demands for a short-term spending deal. Each side accusing the other of wanting a shutdown. The president's now in New York for round one of the Ryder Cup golf tournament between the U.S. and Europe, telling reporters before he left the White House he thinks there's a deal to end the war in Gaza, while Israel's prime minister was at the UN defending the fight against Hamas, denying claims of genocide in Gaza, and accusing countries that recognize Palestinian statehood of rewarding terrorism.
The leaders who recognize the Palestinian state this week sent to the Palestinians, it's a very clear message. Murdering Jews pays off.
Many delegates walking out during his address to the UN General Assembly. A black liberation activist wanted for decades in the U.S. has died in Cuba, which had granted her asylum.
Joanne Chesimard was convicted for shooting and killing 35-year-old New Jersey State Trooper Werner Forster. The shootout happened during a traffic stop on the New Jersey Turnpike with other members of the Black Liberation Army in the car. Known as a radical, Chesimard escaped from prison while serving a life sentence. She allegedly had the help of other BLA members for the escape. Chesimard fled to Cuba, where she lived her life in exile.
Fox's Dana Marie McNichol. Chesimard's escape was in 1979. In 2013, she became the first woman added to the FBI's most wanted terrorists list. The Cuban Foreign Ministry says she died yesterday due to health conditions and advanced age. She was 78. America is listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Super weather on this Friday afternoon as we sail into the last weekend of September. Plenty of sunshine, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies will drop through the 70s, 59 for the low. The weekend looks great. Little warm for this time of year, but we can deal with it. Sunny skies Saturday, 84, 61 Saturday night. Sunday, sunny and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. If you need a new furnace, get Carrier Cool Cash rebates and 0% financing so you'll be nice and cozy as the weather turns. For a free estimate on a new heating system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Developers broke ground on a new food hall downtown on Washington Avenue. That new building will feature a central bar, multiple food and drink vendors from our area. This will also have a year-round patio with a retractable rooftop. City leaders say this will help revitalize one of the city's busiest streets.
This is a celebration. This is something that I think is going to be really exciting for this area. This is the momentum that we need, not only for downtown, not only for the city of St. Louis, but for this region to continue to show that we're on the up and up, that positive things are happening.
The food hall expected to open next spring.
Well, that's the KSDK Channel 5 report on a food hall that's opening up on Washington Avenue, the Washington Avenue Food Hall. And we've got Alex Oliver here with us. He's the developer of the Washington Avenue Food Hall and CEO of Oliver Properties. Thanks for being here, Alex. It's good to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So we talk a lot on this show. You know, we work downtown. We've been coming downtown for, I've been coming downtown since 2009, so quite some time. And there's so many, it seems like there's so much space for opportunity downtown, and we've ebbed and flowed in investing in that. But you're definitely making a big investment. It doesn't start with the Washington Avenue Food Hall. Tell me about why you're looking to invest and grow downtown.
Yeah, so we've been investing in downtown along Wash Ave for almost 2 years. So we started in the fall of 2023. We're now up to a little over 600 apartments downtown, about 50,000 square feet of retail and commercial space. We've really been focusing on the Wash Ave corridor. There's just such an incredibly built environment there already.
Yeah.
The mixed use, the residential upstairs, the walkability, the street trees, the beautiful sidewalks, streetscape. It's really a connected mixed use neighborhood already. And to your point, it's kind of gotten disinvested in the last 15 to 20 years. But the bones are there, the buildings are there. A lot of these got rehabbed as historic tax credit projects between 2004 and 2009. So most of the buildings in that pocket are already built out as apartments. They've already got all the major infrastructure in place. They just haven't been invested in for the last 15 or 20 years. So we're bringing in strong management, strong operations, and cohesively tying all these buildings together so they do have an economy of scale and a synergy that really makes for a great walkable neighborhood.
Yeah, I come from Illinois, so I was trying to get to work one morning, and it was just one of those mornings where the whole state of Illinois decided that they were going to have construction and accidents.
Sure.
So I started weaving around. Normally I come across 70, and somehow or another I found myself on the Eads Bridge. It was a pathway that I had never driven before, and I'm like, I'm 41 years old. There's not very many times where I go somewhere and I'm like, I've never done this version of roads before. So I came across the Eads Bridge. I have a family member who works at Stiefel, so I was driving past Stiefel, and I was just, I'm usually like a Stan Musial Bridge, Tucker Boulevard, this building, same way out.
Right.
And I was driving down Washington Avenue, and I'm like, this is so beautiful. And it was the middle of the day. It wasn't even at night when there's nightlife going on.
Right.
And there was a sense of pride that I felt like we have this.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's a very iconic street. I think one of the most iconic streets in the city, if not in the country, quite honestly. The built environment there, you've got 8- and 9-story historic buildings built from the 1880s up through the 1930s and 40s. They all sit back kind of at just the right distance from the street. So you've got street trees with wide sidewalks, super walkable area. And that's something I talk a lot about when people ask me why we're investing downtown, is we're not just generically randomly picking properties in downtown. We are focusing along Wash Ave, where it does have this incredible built environment, incredible architecture, and density of apartments already, and density of residential and retail and activation, that already is making it a place people want to be. I really think what's already existing down there rivals all of the great neighborhoods in St. Louis. So the Central West End, Tower Grove with South Grand, the Grove, where you've got, multiple restaurants, multiple bars, activities for people to do at night, apartments where people can live during the day and in the evenings, as well as office and jobs and business, all within a walking distance.
So we're speaking here with Alex Oliver. He's the developer of the Washington Avenue Food Hall and CEO of Oliver Properties. Let's talk specifically about the Washington Avenue Food Hall. What is a food hall? Does it serve nightlife? Does it serve the afternoon lunch crowd? Does it serve both? Tell me about it.
Both, really. So basically the concept of a food hall is you have multiple restaurateurs in one space, as opposed to just a single restaurant with a single food offering. So ours is really going to be primarily a bar with great food offerings, more so than a food hall with a bar as an afterthought. So we're going to have 2 large bars, indoor bar, outdoor bar. The rear space has a patio that has a retractable roof, so it'll be usable year-round, but when the weather's great like today, you can open up that roof and enjoy the almost 5,000 square foot patio space. And then having 6 separate vented food vendors who'll have full-blown kitchens, as well as 2 others that'll be non-vented for like a dessert option. And
when you say
options.
vented, what does that mean?
So when you're doing like a full kitchen operation where you have to exhaust all the fumes and the open flame, so you can have fryers and stovetops and cook full-blown meals. So there'll be 6 separate, basically full kitchens in this one space.
Is the idea that those different locations are the same food provider all the time? Will they change out?
Yeah, the idea is that each individual one will be the same one over and over again. So they'll basically be leasing that space. So you'll know when you go there, here are the 8 different options that we'll have available. And the idea is to have local operators where it's a known thing, but that way you get a mix of like, okay, we'll have a burger offering and a pizza offering and maybe a Mexican or taco offering, as well as a Asian offering. So that way you get this variety of food options while you're at this one venue.
Do you know who those people are yet?
We have not selected those yet. So what we announced with our groundbreaking this week is our operating partner who knows how to operate food halls and how to manage the dynamic of having multiple different food vendors and different restaurateurs in there. So we're working with a company called Fire 10. They've done the same business model across the country. The very next step is going to be finding those local operators, those local restaurateurs, to come in and partner up with us and open up in these spaces.
So when you say local restaurateurs, does that mean I'm not going to go to the Washington Avenue Food Hall and get a chalupa from Taco Bell?
Correct. You will not be getting a chalupa from Taco Bell. Yeah, no, absolutely. This is,
but maybe some local Mexican
tacos,
the idea is
street
tacos.
Local restaurants. What I really think this is a perfect place for, because we are building out everything. So these kitchens are going to be fully built out. The equipment will be there. So it's a great place for someone who maybe has a food truck already, is looking to expand and get into brick and mortar, but doesn't want to deal with finding a location and dealing with the equipment and all the setup and the lease negotiations. It's a great chance for someone to step up in size. And also for some established, seasoned restaurateurs, like, all right, we're looking to go from 1 location to 2. Same thing. This is an easy way to step into a fully built out space and offer kind of a slimmed down menu offering where all they have to bring is their food and staff and the space is ready to go.
Do you go up to the counter? Is it like counter service where you go up to the counter, you order your food, and then you just take it back to like a cafeteria type of thing, or do they have different?
Yeah, so they'll each have a separate counter, but also we're going to be utilizing technology. So there's a few different food halls around the country that offer this, where basically you can scan on your phone and it'll bring up all 8 different options, and you order from one or all of them, and it'll all be on a single tab. So it'll be a centralized point of sale system.
So you can order at multiple different.
You can order at each different one. You can order at the bar. It's all in one tab. It makes it really simple and easy for everyone to come in and hang out and enjoy.
I'm going to ask a question on behalf of my audience who may not be technologically savvy.
Sure.
Can you also walk up and order off a menu?
You can. You can also walk up.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure. So for people who are working downtown or visiting downtown during the day or whatever, they're going to be able to partake in this during the day for lunch?
Yes, the goal is that it'll have kind of 11 a.m. to probably 10 p.m. during the week, 11 a.m. to more like midnight on the weekends. It won't be a super late night environment, but the idea is it's serving lunch, happy hour, dinner, and then into the evening. Great opportunity to come and watch sports and hang out. And then the idea is it's going to be opening up by hopefully early second quarter of next spring.
That's awesome. That's really quick. That seems like a really quick turnaround. You said you broke ground last week?
Yeah, well, the advantage we have with almost everything we're doing on Wash Ave is we're taking on existing buildings. So the systems are already there. We already have plumbing coming into the building and sewers coming into the building and electrical and power and gas lines. So it's really just reconfiguring everything in the space, putting out 6 kitchens and 2 bars, but The building itself is already there, so it's not like we're starting with raw dirt. That's really the advantage we have with the buildings we're going after.
We've got a question from Scooter, who's watching us on the Andy Fry YouTube channel. He said, question for Mr. Oliver. What additional security would you need to assure patrons that they'd be safe on Washington Avenue, especially if we're talking about going and grabbing some post-cocktail tacos or something at 11 o'clock at night?
Yeah, I think for the people who are looking for, ultimate security, they're never going to come downtown to begin with. Right now we have police force, we have the downtown CID has private security after hours. GSL has an ambassador program where they have after hours security. Our buildings also have private security. This facility will have security staff. So there's an abundance of security personnel in and around downtown and in and around Wash Ave all the time. We have camera systems everywhere. So, we're in the city.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to deny there aren't challenges around here. But that's part of why we're also focusing on activating the retail. The more there's people out and about, going into restaurants, going into shops, parking on the street, living in the apartments, the more any of that bad element just doesn't want to be there. There's too many eyeballs on them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let me talk to you about the thing that makes me the most anxious to go do something like this. Where do I park?
So directly,
where do I put my car so I can go and enjoy the event?
So directly behind this building. So the building actually is on the south side of Wash Ave, mid-block between 11th Street and Tucker. So it's just about a block east of here, quite honestly. Directly behind there, there's I think about a 220-space parking lot that we recently acquired. We've been fencing it, gating it. We're going to be, again, adding technology to allow it easier for people to pull in and park on an hourly rate basis. They can get a monthly pass.
Mm-hmm.
We've also added street trees all around it. So it's going to make it easy for people to park there and walk right in the back of the building.
Sounds like you've thought a lot about the security and making people feel comfortable coming downtown.
It's been a 2-year process of figuring out, how we assemble all the various pieces, because this has taken, between the parking lot, the buildings we have nearby, and the space that's acquired, 9 different parcels from probably 7 different owners to get the cohesive plan to put together.
What's it like to work with downtown St. Louis, the city, whoever the powers that be are that you have to go through to get something like this done? Is there a hunger and a thirst for bringing new things like this downtown?
I certainly think there's support for having a vibrant downtown. I think it's a key to our region and a key to our city. It's where there's, millions of square feet of office. There's tens of thousands of jobs. And I think in general, as a region, I think we're generally aligned that it's a good thing to keep those jobs here in the city. The advantage we have, again, is we're dealing with existing buildings. So the hurdles and the amount of interaction I need support for is a whole lot easier for me than someone who's trying to turn a vacant parking lot into a 10-story building. They've got a lot more planning and zoning and system permitting and everything they got to deal with than what we're dealing with, because we're basically, again, converting inside the 4 walls of an existing structure. So we deal primarily with the building division and, making sure things are permitted and planned, but we don't have nearly as many hurdles to jump through.
Sure, that makes sense. Is there entertainment provided or spaces for entertainment to exist?
So in the rear patio space, we'll have a stage and a giant screen so we can do watch parties for sporting events and games. We'll be able to have live music on occasions. We'll definitely do trivia nights and things like that. So the idea is this really is kind of a social hub for downtown. The overall building is going to be about 10,000 square feet. Wow. Again, the 2 different bars, 6 different restaurants. So it's a place you can really come and spend the entire afternoon on a weekend or an evening, come for a happy hour, hang out for a while. But again, it'll be sort of quick serve food. So also on a quick lunch break, people coming from the office can come over, grab a bite, sit on the patio for 15 minutes, then head back to the office.
Yeah, well, that sounds great. What's the best way for people if they want to learn more about this or watch the progress of it? Where do you want to direct them to learn that stuff?
Yeah, so this is really the launch of kind of our next phase of our Wash Ave growth, focusing on the retail side, on the retail activation. So washavretail.com actually is, I believe, our website where we're talking about what available spaces we have today, what's coming. We've got a bit of a news feed on there where we're announcing some of the new stuff that's happening. Because we already have, just within our portfolio, 6 different restaurants along Wash Ave. We have some more spaces that are available that we hope this food hall will help fill in, not just the food and beverage retail, but also that neighborhood serving retail. The hair salon, barber shop, UPS store, tax returns, all the things that make a neighborhood is really the next phase of filling in on the retail side.
Well, you've been listening to Alex Oliver, who is the developer of the Washington Avenue Food Hall. He's also the CEO of Oliver Properties, looking to help revitalize and invigorate Washington Avenue. And like I was saying, when I was driving down that street, Washington Avenue, off the Eads Bridge, just within the last week, I was just kind of stunned by the beauty, because not everywhere that you go downtown has what what Washington Avenue has, but I don't think a lot of places have what Washington Avenue has, and it's awesome that you're investing in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think really when you look at the historic architecture from 10th to 18th on Washington Avenue, it is so unique of a neighborhood. All the buildings are historic. They have about the same sizing. It's just a different neighborhood feel than like if you're at like 8th and Pine, where you've got 20-story office buildings. This very much has a neighborhood walkable feel to it.
Yeah, it is quite unique, and it is really beautiful. Well, thank you, Alex, for being in here and talking to us about it. We'll look forward to the progress.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
All right. Take care. Alex Oliver, developer of the Washington Avenue Food Hall, CEO of Oliver Properties. You can go to washavretail.com to learn more. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
No paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, this is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking with hypnosis. Hypnosis eliminated my desire for soda and fast food, made me want to exercise, and I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. My energy level exploded. I went to another session to deal with some other problem foods, and I lost another 10 pounds. In fact, I brought my husband. He lost weight. More important, cholesterol and blood pressure improved. My friend went, and she lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months. So does Mark Patrick hypnosis work? Oh yeah, it works. Nothing has changed my life more. Well, except maybe my husband. He's so proud of me. Makes me cry.
Now that you've heard it, what are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed early bird specials $49.99. That's right, weight loss seminar, Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration at 1:30 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
The Diamond Shop, online at thediamondshop.net. Also in Clayton, Missouri. I hope you'll give them a visit before September is over if you're looking to save on some beautiful sapphire jewelry. Everything in stock. Every piece of in-stock jewelry right now at the Diamond Shop is 30% off. All in-stock jewelry, 30% off. But all in-stock sapphire jewelry is 40% off. So when you're shopping for something special, something particular, if you just know you got somebody special in mind and you're not 100% sure what the actual piece that you're looking for might be, the Diamond Shop is going to help you make a smart, educated decision that you're very proud of, you're very excited about. In your budget, when you walk in, you're going to walk out feeling like, gosh, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. You might go in a little nervous. You think you're going to get hard sold or pressured. You're not. That's not the way they operate. They've been in St. Louis since 1910. They know jewelry, and they know St. Louisans just like you, and they love the opportunity to earn your business. You can become a VIP by visiting them online at thediamondshop.net.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Government officials are in danger of being indicted in the coming weeks, some in the FBI, some in other parts of the government. This is the beginning of a large accountability roundup in government. And I think what's really remarkable, most of my career I've spent uncovering FBI cover-ups. The FBI has a long history of misleading Congress. Comey falls into that. But the evidence against Comey tonight comes from the FBI and its new director, Kash Patel, who promised radical transparency. And he actually provides the key piece of evidence that leads to this indictment. If you're a member of Congress and you've been tired of being lied to by the FBI, tonight's the first time the FBI actually did something about it. They turned in their own man tonight. I think that's an extraordinary part of this story.
Yeah, we're going to have a really deep dive into all of this tomorrow. Hopefully all of you will be back with us. We appreciate.
So Sean Hannity having John Solomon on there reporting on the fact that he believes that there are going to be more indictments in the near future. And listening to John Solomon, he's talking about other government officials, kind of all shapes and sizes, possibly. How do you feel about this? Is James Comey's indictment on 2 counts, 2 charges that have been brought to against James Comey? Do you feel like it's justice or revenge? Or maybe you think it's both. You can leave a comment on the Annie Fry YouTube channel while you go vote. It's in the live broadcast there. Larry says on our Facebook page, if the pursuit is legitimate, it shouldn't even be a question. They broke the law. They need to pay the price. That's what Larry says on Facebook. Ender says both is good. Revenge in the form of justice in the form of revenge. Pick however you want to word it. I do think it's a 2-for-1 deal. So maybe in Ender's opinion, you really don't have one without the other. Timothy says, ironic, yes. Karma, yes. Also, a lot of justice and a little revenge. You can go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and leave your thoughts, and we will continue to feature them throughout the course of the show. There is news right now out, the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing. If you missed it, we talked a little bit with Jamie Lissow, who was in studio with us just shortly before 12:30 to 1 o'clock. We talked about Jimmy Kimmel, and I've heard this a lot about Jimmy Kimmel from people who are in the industry who are talking about him in a way that is very complimentary and flattering to like the human that Jimmy Kimmel is. But if you listen to what Jamie Lissow was saying as well, Lissow was saying that, like, where's the joke? I just want the joke to be there. If you want to make jokes, and even if you want to make jokes about me and they're funny, then let's go. Bring the joke. But there doesn't always seem to be, with Jimmy Kimmel, a joke. And maybe that's something. Maybe that's a shift that Jimmy Kimmel can engage in. I think Adam Carolla, who was a part of The Man Show, of which Jimmy Kimmel was also a part of, has been outspoken. We've played the clip on this show where Adam Carolla was essentially saying that who you and I think of Jimmy Kimmel as, we don't know him. We just know him as the person who's on the television screen, maybe, or in our feeds, clips in our feeds. As somebody who just exists in that form, he's like a character to us. He's a cartoon character or a caricature of himself. He's not like an actually dynamic human being who has thoughts, feelings, family members, bills to pay, like all the stuff that we all know each other as. That person, that Jimmy Kimmel, is a wonderful person. Adam Carolla was heaping kindness and compliments on him. But he said the problem here is that Jimmy Kimmel also sees people probably like you and me in the same fashion, as a caricature, as a cartoon character. Isn't that so evident right now in the conversations and the arguments that you're being tempted to jump into on social media? There's a point, there's a major lofty accusation that's thrown out of there that requires so much assumption on anybody who participates in that conversation's part. There's so much judgment and assumption that predicates any sort of conclusion that gets thrown out in a 22-word Facebook comment. And you push back against the Facebook comment because it makes you mad because you are not willing to assume all of the same things that the commenter was willing to assume, all the judgments that they were willing to make that really feel personal to you, because to them, the part of you that has some sort of support, has voted for, has some sort of parallel interest is Donald Trump or MAGA or conservatives or Republicans or Christians or the right or whatever it is that they're using to label you, they're not looking at you like you're a human being. They're not looking at you like you're an individual person who is a fully developed brain that's able to make judgments and have opinions based on actual facts that you've experienced in your life. They're just assuming that everything that you think has been spoon-fed to you and you just lapped every bit of it up. Adam Carolla was making the point that while we don't know the Jimmy Kimmel that he knows, Jimmy Kimmel doesn't know the people who support Donald Trump or conservatives that Adam Carolla does. And there seems to be an impasse there. There's news from Fox News reporting right now. Sinclair announced that it is going to end its preemption of ABC's Jimmy Kimmel Live, and the show is going to return on Friday. That would be today. Sinclair's statement said, "Our objective throughout this process has been to ensure that programming remains accurate and engaging for the widest possible audience. We take seriously our responsibility as local broadcasters to provide programming that serves the interest of our communities, while also honoring our obligations to air national network programming. Over the last week, we have received thoughtful feedback from viewers, advertisers, and community leaders representing a wide range of perspectives. We have also witnessed troubling acts of violence, including the despicable incident of a shooting at an ABC affiliate station in Sacramento. These events underscore why responsible broadcasting matters and why respectful dialogue between differing voices remains so important. In our ongoing and constructive decisions with ABC, Sinclair proposed measures to strengthen accountability, viewer feedback, and community dialogue, including a network-wide independent ombudsman." I've never heard of that word. Sinclair added that proposals, quote, "were suggested as collaborative efforts between the ABC affiliates and the ABC network." The company said, while ABC and Disney have not yet adopted these measures, and Sinclair respects their right to make those decisions under our network affiliate agreements, we believe such measures could strengthen trust and accountability. Our decision to preempt this program was independent of any government interaction or influence. May I repeat, the company said, quote, "Our decision to preempt this program was independent of any government interaction or influence." They go on to say, "Free speech provides broadcasters with the right to exercise judgment as to the content of their local stations. While we understand that not everyone will agree with our decisions about programming, it is simply inconsistent to champion free speech while demanding that broadcasters air specific content," Sinclair continued. As a company rooted in local stations, Sinclair remains committed to serving our communities with programming that reflects their priorities, earns their trust, and promotes constructive dialogue. We look forward to continuing to work with ABC to deliver content that serves a broad spectrum of our communities. So Sinclair there, in case I didn't make it clear, Sinclair saying that no part of their decision to preempt Jimmy Kimmel was based on pressure from the government, the FCC, any type of influence or interaction. So, as of tonight, Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air. And as of tonight, you will continue to exercise your First Amendment right to sit and watch Jimmy Kimmel or to sit and not watch Jimmy Kimmel. Or I think a lot of us will forget after I get done talking about this that Jimmy Kimmel is now going to be on the station in your neighborhood or on your television that he would be in. And you're going to go about your Friday night as per the usual, watching a football game, going out to dinner, whatever it might be. The interesting element that we can watch now is the Jimmy Kimmel ratings. If they get a bump, I would say for maybe a week or two, I think that would be natural. The question will be, how long can it hold on? Maybe people on the left who agree with Jimmy Kimmel on politics and everything is so charged right now in the political atmosphere that maybe people will find a home with Jimmy Kimmel, and maybe he'll settle in nicely to the home that he had already pretty much furnished fully for people who despise Donald Trump, want to laugh at Donald Trump. Maybe their ratings will reflect a new surge of viewers. Maybe Jimmy Kimmel will be the rallying cry for people on the left who feel the need to be in a minority political viewpoint right now, the anti-Trump crowd. Maybe they'll find a home in him. And guess what? That's fine. They all have that choice. They all have the ability to do that. And that's not to be considered win or loss on your part unless you want to take it personally. This doesn't really have anything to do with us personally. Jimmy Kimmel made a comment that was incredibly insensitive and, more importantly, super ignorant and dumb, suggesting that Charlie Kirk's assassin was a MAGA person. The outrage that surrounded that moment was because everybody knew that that was patently wrong. Everybody but Jimmy Kimmel. Is Jimmy Kimmel in such a bubble that he didn't know what he said was wrong? Is Jimmy Kimmel out of touch with what everybody else knew at that time so much? Not just that maybe he could think it, but that he was willing to say, that he was willing to use his platform to connect a MAGA person in a smug way as the shooter of Charlie Kirk. Those statements that he made are a reflection on Jimmy Kimmel, and pretty much that's it. So people like you and people like me likely are not going to be tuning in to see what Jimmy Kimmel has to say next. And I pray that we get on the right, the people who support the person who's in the office of the presidency right now, who has the control of the House of Representatives, who has the control of the Senate. Folks, could the Congress controlled by Republicans, could they be getting a little bit more work done right now while they have the majority? I think they could. What if Republicans shifted their attention away from Jimmy Kimmel and started focusing on getting the work done to the people elected, those Republicans in Congress and the President of the United States, encouraging them to get the work done that reflects the people who voted them into office? What if we just never talked about Jimmy Kimmel again? If he comes on the air and he shifts perspective and it becomes a newsworthy event, then of course he can be part of the conversation again. But there's no benefit to obsessing over something you have no control over, especially if that person pretty much, at least up to this point, has indicated that he despises you. I'm really to the point where Jimmy Kimmel's existence on the television before he said what he said had no bearing on my life whatsoever. If he would have been preempted for anything, I never would have known about it because I never, ever sit down to watch Jimmy Kimmel. I DVR Gutfeld. I watch it when I have time. As we were just talking with Jamie Lissow earlier in the show, I make appointment to watch that show. I don't do it for Jimmy Kimmel. He didn't affect my life then. He doesn't need to affect my life now. What if we just stopped caring? Because we actually don't really care. You could let this one go. Jimmy Kimmel's going to be back on in St. Louis tonight because St. Louis's ABC station is a Sinclair affiliate. And you can just go on living your life without feeling like it has anything to do with you. Or maybe tune in to see what he has to say. Maybe you'll change your mind on him. But this is not where the attention and the focus of the conservative political movement needs to be. I wish we would get back into the place where we just say, okay, these people are not for me. I'm just putting them out of my life. You don't need to have a rallying cry. You don't need to gather up the posse of people and have a Jimmy Kimmel protest. It's not worth your time and energy. Instead of doing that, go have dinner with somebody you love. Quick break. When we come back, Ethan Sports and Local. Don't go away.
She's got it.
Stewart's American Mortgage. She's got the bagel loan, and you want the bagel loan. This bagel loan comes with $0 in closing costs. No money. When you go to get that new mortgage for your new home that you're looking to purchase, or if you're looking to refinance the current mortgage that you have, you don't have to pay any of those closing costs that really add up sometimes, in the thousands to close that new loan. You don't do that with the bagel loan. How do you qualify for the bagel loan? Well, it starts with a phone call or even a text message to Stewie. 314-324-4440. That's the number directly to Stewie's cell phone. 314-324-4440. You reach out to Stewie, tell him Annie sent you, and tell him what you're trying to do. Buy a new home, do a cash out refinance and get rid of your credit card debt, whatever it might be. And he's going to explain to you exactly what you need to do to put yourself in the best financial position going forward. And a bagel loan is a great way to do that. I've used the bagel loan twice myself. One time just to get a lower rate. The second time I got a lower rate and did a cash out refinance on my home to build a deck. And I'm so glad I chose to do it with Stuart from Stuart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Thinking about a bath remodel or swapping that old tub for a sleek, easy-to-clean shower? It's Mark Reardon from Michael's Baths with one question. What's there to think about? Michael's beats the competition by 30 to 50%, uses top-quality materials, and backs it all with over 30 years of experience. And now they're going to throw in a free shower door or $500 off. Schedule your free in-home consultation today, 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com. That's michaelsbaths.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll: is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? We want to hear what you say. We've got three options for you: justice, revenge, or why not both? Jump on Annie's YouTube page, youtube.com/@AnnieFry. That's Fry, F-R-E-Y. And vote in the poll, and then leave us a comment telling us why you voted the way you voted. The time is 1:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. Consistently right.
It's a ritual.
97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis conservative.
Hold up. Check it out.
Sports and local.
Hold up. Check it out. It's Ethan.
Ethan.
On
He's got a certain kind of attitude when he says your name there.
It's been the same one all week, and for some reason, he wanted that to be the case. I think he's losing.
Ryan?
I think he was. Yeah, he told me.
He mailed it
said
in.
play this one all week, and
Yeah?
I think he was like exactly what you said. I think he had Disney on his mind.
Of course he did. I also was
Had
not
that-
here on Wednesday, and
that
he
word
had to
that
host,
starts with a
so-
D on his mind.
Yeah. Disney. What do you think?
Good clarification.
What do
All
you
right.
think? What do you think he's doing right now? Oh, actually, I could maybe tell you. Let me look at his plans.
Can you give us a hint as to which park he is at?
Yeah, just give me a second. I could
Mhm.
also order him some food that he could go pick up.
Order him a lot of food.
No,
like-
because then I have to pay for it.
Oh, I
And
thought
it's
you meant
Disney
like
money.
you had access to his funds.
No.
That's what I was saying. Like, order everything.
No,
And
I
just
have-
like run him dry.
I have given him. I have done things for him before while he was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what? Like you've got him food, or like you've got him a gift or something, or what does that mean? I haven't been to Disney in like 12 years, so I'm unfamiliar with the modern
Ryan.
tech
Ryan
part
has
of
told
Disney.
this story before on the air, so I feel okay telling it again. But as we all know, and we've talked many times, Ryan is perpetually not frugal. He's cheap.
Mm-hmm.
If he sees a deal, he's going after it.
Mhm.
Some deals are too good to be true. He realized that on one trip with both the hotel he booked and the tickets he bought. He got scammed in his tickets. He spent like hundreds of dollars on tickets that were a scam.
Oh no! I've never heard this story.
He went to the park with his kid, and the ticket didn't work. And they're like, "We're sorry, there's no ticket." So it turned out what he did was he bought a ticket from somebody who didn't when you buy a ticket from someone, they have to transfer it to your name. They didn't transfer it, and they returned it or something like that. And so they got his money. And he was having a really, really crap time. Like you're supposed, he was on a trip.
Sure.
And I mean, he got scammed. He got taken advantage of. And I felt terrible for him. So I had him send me, I wasn't really telling him what I was doing, but I had him send me a picture of a gift card he was trying to use. And you can reload those gift cards online. So I did that and bought him some meals. And he said
That's
that
so
it
nice.
really kind of reset the day, because you don't want to be there with your kid and know that you did this and kind of got screwed and that people suck like that. But yeah, you can I can place a mobile order. I got to find out where he is. I can place a mobile order for him
What is the weirdest food that you have ever had at Disney? I bet there's probably some weird foods at
I'm
Disney.
not really a weird food person.
Yeah, you're right. You are. What's the weirdest food you've seen at Disney? How about that?
Well, it wouldn't be weird to everybody else, but I think it was the first trip we took to Disney World, and so my kids were like maybe 7, 5, and 2 or
Okay.
something like that, and we had done the dining plan, so you can go to places and just order off of their menu, and it doesn't. You could get an entree that's $50, or you could get a salad for your entree, and it's like $18 or something.
Okay.
And so Jared, naturally, it was this really great steakhouse. It's a Gibson steakhouse that's called the Boathouse at Disney Springs. And
Yum.
Jared got the surf and turf
Mhm.
and the lobster tail, like the thing that was on there. And Mike, I'll find the picture. My kid's face, like it looked like the lobster crawled out of the water. Just
So like it just looked like straight out
they
of
had
the
never
okay.
seen anything like that before. We're from the Midwest, folks. If you've seen a crawdad, that's the closest you've ever been. I don't know. I don't do weird things.
Yeah.
I'm like
I should have known going into that question.
Jared, on the other hand, will try some weird stuff.
He'll
I
go
think
for
he's
it?
had octopus. He tried sushi for the first time in Japan and Epcot. Has not gone back for it, but I like to try the drinks.
I tell you what, the next time that I go,
Mhm.
no idea when that'll be, but
Show
I
trip.
feel like I'm gonna enjoy Epcot a lot more than I did when I was 13.
Oh, Jared and I will go for just a weekend sometimes.
I feel like
And
I could
we
spend the
don't-
whole time at Epcot.
We won't even. We went for a 3-night trip last November, and we did 2 attractions in 4 days of being at the park. And the 2 attractions were Tower of Terror and Hall of Presidents. And that
I've
was
never
it.
even heard of the Hall of Presidents.
Yeah, Donald Trump's in there. But
I would hope so.
Like they have the animatronics of all the presidents.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny.
And they kind of sit there and they're animatronics, so they move around a little bit. And so they go through and they announce all the presidents by name. It's a beautiful show. And if you know anything about Walt Disney, and I wish Disney would remember Walt Disney was very much so a patriot, loved Abraham Lincoln. Main Street USA is like created from his childhood home of Marceline, Missouri. So Main Street USA is just supposed to look like everybody's Main Street USA.
Disney's?
Mm-hmm.
He was from Missouri?
Yes, he was.
I did not know that.
Yeah, patriot and everything. But we did 2 attractions in 4 days. Didn't really necessarily go to the parks. Did some shopping. Ate some really good food. Like that's when we go. That's what we
Sounds
do.
like a
Golf,
nice weekend.
Golf, spa.
Could go for some golf right now. You guys want to go golfing? Want to ditch the show?
Yes.
For those of you that can't go golfing right now or this weekend, or you aren't planning on going to Disney World, I have some things that you can do in St. Louis this weekend.
Okay.
Evolution Festival is coming up this weekend in St. Louis.
It's a big concert.
Big concert festival in the Langenberg Field in Forest Park. And there's going to be some solid headliners: Lenny Kravitz, Sublime, TLC, Public Enemy. I think Mark Reardon is going. He's been talking about it a lot the last couple days. He's
always
excited.
big into that stuff.
Explain this to me. St. Charles Oktoberfest is this weekend. This weekend, not in October. Why? What does that mean? Hold on. It's not even St. Charles Oktoberfest. St. Charles and St. Louis are having their Oktoberfests this weekend. I'm not saying don't go support, but that doesn't make sense.
It's like
it's not October.
That's kind of weird. Maybe there are too many Oktoberfests that you just want to. I mean,
those are like the 2 main ones, though.
Well,
here,
Brew in the Lou, man.
Yeah.
Don't diss Brew in the Lou. It's a
I
great-
mean like Oktoberfests, big Oktoberfests here.
I don't know.
Makes no sense
It's
to
all
me.
about the weather.
I'm
If the
upset.
weather fits, October is a mood.
I'm also a little salty because now I can't go to St. Charles's Oktoberfest because I'll be out of town this weekend.
Now we get to the bottom of it.
That's where it's all coming from. Also, I don't know if you guys are Renaissance Festival people. I've been to one, and it was one of the most entertaining 4-hour periods of my life.
Oh my gosh. Ethan, I love dressing up and going to Renaissance festivals.
Hold on. I'm not even saying dressing up. I'm saying going and just looking at people. Because, I mean,
watching.
you think... listen, I'm sure that people watching at Disney is amazing. I have to imagine Renaissance fairs is a whole new level of people watching.
I'm a little offended that you weren't shocked by what I said because that was a total lie. I am not a Renaissance Festival person.
You're not?
Uh-uh.
I'm kidding.
I would, but that's another thing. Like I might be in your shoes where if I found myself there, I might be like, This is kind of fun and neat.
It was one of those things that I did once. I was like, okay, I'm never doing it again. But boy, you see some interesting things.
My friend Paul, he might be
a lot of
listening right
turkey
now.
legs.
Oh,
Too many. Way too many.
You can get those at Disney, and I do not and will not. What kind of turkeys do those things come off of? Anyway, my friend Paul, musician, great musician, graduated from high school with him. I think he plays music in Renaissance festivals. And I love Paul. So if he were in one, I would maybe go see him.
There's also some good college football in the area over the weekend. The Illinois Fighting Illini hosting USC. Big noon kickoff starting at 11 o'clock. Explain that one to me. This upcoming weekend as well, Mizzou is hosting UMass for homecoming. And then Lindenwood travels to go and face Miami, Ohio over the weekend. Annie, how much time? Do I have time for another story or no?
I have no control. You do whatever you want. It's just all we have to do is stop at 3.
That's the answer I expected. The city of Collinsville is now advising residents to filter their tap water before drinking or cooking after recent tests revealed rising levels of PFAs, which are otherwise called forever chemicals, in the municipal water supply.
Oh man.
Collinsville. Yeah.
How close is Collinsville to you?
Next door.
That's like the town next over.
Maryville's in between.
Okay. And Brad, that's like the town right next to you guys,
yeah,
right?
just north of us.
So apparently, several months ago, back in April, the Illinois EPA issued a formal notice to Collinsville utility customers after some lab testings. They found some PFA compounds within some of the groundwater. And now, 5 months later, the city has announced plans for a comprehensive PAS removal system at its water treatment plant. I guess I didn't know too much about PFAs before kind of doing some research into this. They have been linked to certain cancers, fertility problems, developmental issues in children, and other long-term health effects, according to the U.S. EPA. So not good. Not good at all.
Filter your water, people. My 4-year-old, Molly, was sitting upstairs watching some TV on my bed.
Okay.
Yesterday, and it was time to go. It was getting time to go to bed, and she yells downstairs. She's 4 years old, and she goes, "Mom, I'm not hydrated."
4? She knows what hydrated means?
The water bottle company's big water bottle is doing a really, really good marketing job. I'm not hydrated. Where did she get that? My goodness. We'll be right back.
Does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like...
Tammy Dittamore and the Dittamore Group listing your home for sale is exciting. It's very exciting. It's also very nerve-wracking, and there's a lot of anxiety that can go along with all the preparations. You basically have to list your home and pretend you don't live there. And pretend like you've never lived there. And you're like, but I'm living here. How does this work? Well, the Dittamore Group, her amazing team, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha, helped Tammy guide you through this process so that you are in a position for a top dollar sale. And you're not doing more than you need to, but you're also aware of the things that you do want to check and make sure are completed before that home is listed so that you have a great sale. It's worth it if you have experts behind you. So you're not just guessing and checking and, of course, spending money on fixes that don't need to be done and missing the opportunities to spend money on fixes that can get you a better resale. They're in Illinois and Missouri with 50-plus years of experience. The Dittamore Group is the number one office and the number one team in the Metro East. You can call them directly at 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. Reach out to Tammy Dittamore at thedittamoregroup.com.
Mark Reardon isn't here to echo talking points. He challenges them.
What you gonna talk about?
Smart, fast, and always original. The Mark Reardon Show. Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. And you know, your home is your sanctuary. You need to take the first step to peace of mind with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer in the country, Generator Supercenter. We learned the hard way here in St. Louis during the tornado recently that power can be knocked out. But even outside of that, what if the power grid fails and it's 100 degrees here in St. Louis? You don't want to be that person. Get with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis today. Generator Supercenter of St. Louis.com. Tell them that we sent you along.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Range. It's the Annie Fry Show.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were older, then we wouldn't have to wait so long? And wouldn't it be nice to live together in the kind of world where we belong?
50 First Dates with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
In
Yes,
Hawaii?
I've seen that. Yes. Cute movie. Actually, I just watched it not that long ago.
It's a good, it's on TV, so yeah, I'll watch
Mhm.
that. It was one of the movies that we watched before we went to Hawaii, because it takes place in Hawaii.
Which island is it on? Do you know? Do they ever say?
No, when you've never
No?
been to Hawaii
Okay.
before, it's just
It's all the same. It's all
just
Hawaii.
Hawaii. I know that.
But then
they-
after, you're like, oh, which island was it? Oh, I didn't go to that one. I was on this island.
Yeah, I was only on one. Ugh, gosh, I was thinking about it last night. I'd like to go back right now.
Oh, my gosh. I feel like at least once a week. It was definitely much more than that at first, right when we had gotten back. Either my wife or I will go, you want to go to Hawaii?
You
Like
just
tomorrow?
Kind of
Yeah,
spend
let's go. Sure.
all of your
Let's do
time
it.
thinking about, now. It's like now that I know that this exists, why am I not trying to get back there?
Best week of my life.
And the answer is money. That's
Okay.
why. Super expensive. You went to where?
I went to Maui.
Is that the only island you went to?
Yes.
I only went to Oahu.
Oahu.
Where'd you go, Brad?
Oahu and the Big Island, Hawaii.
Oh, he's better than us. He's been to 2 Hawaiian islands.
It's so beautiful, and the pace of Hawaii is something that they kind of tell you about ahead of time. That you have to understand if you're on island time that there's just a slower pace to things. You do kind of let go of the hustle and bustle of the everyday life. And I remember being there and knowing that was kind of a thing, and I'm like, okay, we'll see how it goes, because we were in Waikiki first, and Waikiki is very busy and beautiful, but very urban. But then we went over to Ko'olina, and it was just so everything is in my mind when I think about retirement. It's Ko'olina, Hawaii. It's just what do you want to do next? I don't know. Sit here and think about it. That's just it. My kids who are used to going to Orlando and doing parks and stuff for vacations were looking at me like, vacation can be like this. they were
Funny.
like, this is a real vacation. I'm like, you kids don't even have a clue what you're talking. You're lucky kids, but our vacations are usually full of things.
Right.
And we sat by. We'd go get a chair next to the pool, or on the beach in the cove that they have for the resort, and you'd just sit there. And he said, you just sit there.
You would just look. You just stare ahead.
You'd lay there for 30 minutes thinking about a pina colada, and you're like, I think I'll get up and go get a pina colada. And that's the event of the afternoon.
It's a good
So
life.
great.
Such a great
Why am I not doing that right now? I need to get a second, third job and make that happen. All right, keep it here. Next segment, next question. Your Ask Us Anything questions in the YouTube live chat. You can send them to us right now, and we'll get to the bottom of them next. Don't go away.
When it comes to roofing, you can't go wrong with Corel Roofing. Mark Cox here. My friend Curtis Corel came out, looked at my roof, worked with my insurance adjuster. I got a new roof, new gutters, and even new screens on some of my windows. Curtis specializes in working with insurance companies. Even if you've been denied, he's often able to work with these insurance adjusters to find a way to get it covered. Here's something else Curtis tells me. With cooler weather coming, you need to be aware of something. Roofs cannot be installed if the temperature dips below 45 degrees. Some companies go ahead and do this anyway, but you're going to have problems down the road. So if you're concerned that your roof won't make it through the winter, call Curtis Corel today. Corel Roofing has crews with over 20 years of experience. They pay attention to detail, and they can work with all the luxury line roofing as well. Call Curtis at 314-222-9529. That's 222-9529. Or on Facebook at Corel Roofing Co.
So Lutheran schools in the bi-state area, 34 of them. And I can't stress enough how the Lutheran schools that you can go experience, that every single one you go to, there's a uniqueness to them. And you might go to one Lutheran school and you might love it, and you might go to another Lutheran school and realize, oh my gosh, this one's a lot bigger than the other one, and this one's quite quaint. And just the way you experience what Lutheran education has to offer you is to, first and foremost, get on the website at lisastl.org, Lutheran Elementary School Association. The abbreviation is LISA, so Lisa with an E. And you just start seeing what the opportunities are there for you. Athletics, music programs. They have special education in most of the schools, and they support IEPs and special needs. The opportunities are right there, right near you. You might not even realize how many opportunities are right near you. Elementary schools, high schools, everything you need to know about Lutheran education. Check it out right now at lisastl.org.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need, while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon with news for listeners who, like me, want to learn more about Bitcoin. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club is coming to St. Louis later this summer. The Bitcoin Ben Crypto Clubs teach members what Bitcoin is, how to buy it, how to safely store it, and how to avoid scams. And we'll connect with others like us who want to learn more about crypto. St. Louis will be the 7th club nationwide and Ben's hometown. If you want to know more about Bitcoin, you need to know Bitcoin Ben. Learn more at bitcoinben.io. That's bitcoinben.io.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
The Justice Department defense of the Comey indictment on Lisa Brady, Fox News. The day after a grand jury indicted former FBI Director James Comey, who's accused of making a false statement to Congress and an obstruction count. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche tells Fox the charges weren't pulled out of thin air.
As alleged, these are very serious crimes. This is very serious conduct, and that's why we investigated it. And that's why the grand jury returned an indictment.
Comey says he's innocent, and Democrats accuse prosecutors of seeking political revenge for the president. Blanche says he did not feel pressured by social media posts from the president before the previous federal prosecutor in the grand jury's district was replaced days ago. Just getting word, the former high school football player who killed 4 people in a New York City office tower shooting in July did have the brain disease CTE. The city's medical examiner confirming it. The gunman who also shot himself had intended to target the NFL headquarters. Tear gas and pepper spray used outside a temporary immigration enforcement facility in Illinois, where at least 2 anti-ICE protesters were taken into custody during confrontations with law enforcement.
They detained 2 individuals, and one of them, according to an ICE spokesman, was carrying a 9mm handgun. We don't know a lot beyond that in terms of why this individual had a gun and what the gun was intended for.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Broadview outside Chicago. Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air tonight. More U.S. U.S. cities. Sinclair Broadcasting just confirming his late-night show is allowed back on its nearly 40 affiliate stations. ABC suspended Kimmel for several days after comments about the Charlie Kirk assassination, then reinstated the show Tuesday, but Sinclair and Nexstar have continued to preempt it. Sinclair now says it takes seriously a responsibility to provide programming serving the interest of its communities, but also obligations to air national network programming. America's listening to Fox News.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B? Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words Micro. That's pound 250, Micro.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Super weather on this Friday afternoon as we sail into the last weekend of September. Plenty of sunshine, 70s to near 80 degrees. Tonight, clear skies will drop through the 70s, 59 for the low. The weekend looks great. Little warm for this time of year, but we can deal with it. Sunny skies Saturday, 84, 61 Saturday night. Sunday, sunny and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right, gotta love this American ride.
You need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Oh, well, Ryan is still here in spirit. That intro that he made, a cover, if you will, of the Annie Fry Show intro, he made, obviously, for the Dave Glover Show.
You know, it's a shame that he just happens to be out of town for the weekend that Evolution Festival is here because, you know, I think there could be a real argument made that he could have been headlining with that as his main song.
I don't know if you're right about that.
What?
Do you guys know about the rapture that was supposed to happen this week?
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, I didn't hear much about it besides that someone had said something about that.
Where did that come from? I'm not plugged into rapture culture.
I think it was a TikTok thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Rapture Talk.
Gosh, we couldn't plan this.
Rapture Talk, get out of here.
I'm not plugged in, and I'm not somebody who believes in the rapture at all. So this is going to be a parting of ways for a lot of people listening right now who are like, Annie, how could you? And then there are the Lutherans and the Catholics. So I'm glad you mentioned TikTok because, Ethan, are you on TikTok?
No, I have not been since, I guess it kind of really started getting big during COVID in 2020.
Did you have a TikTok
And I
account?
had it for a few months, and then...
Did you delete it? Or do you just not get on it?
I think I just deleted the app. I think my account is still out there, but...
Anything good on it?
Actually, yes, there's a couple of good things. That's probably why I kept it.
Deep dive. We will do that at some point.
Okay.
You didn't even like exhale all the way when you said that. You gotta go right
It's
here.
so
It was like,
stupid.
oh god.
I think the one that went the most viral for me, and it didn't even go that viral. It just had like, I don't know, several thousand views or whatever. And it was me finding a frog in my driveway and feeding it a bug, and it ate it.
God, I think
And
that
people
Brian
loved it.
has an old YouTube video about
And
a
I
squirrel
petted
and
it
a
after.
Cheeto. Do you have TikTok, Brad?
No.
I've never had it either. This is the news that's out late. A lot of people are wondering what's going to happen with it. Here's JD
First
Vance.
of all, I would say all credit goes to the Secretary of the Treasury. Couldn't have got it done without Scott. Also couldn't have got it done without Sean Cooksey on my team, so thanks to them. The company will be valued around $14 billion. We actually think this is a good deal for investors, but ultimately the investors are going to make the determination about what they want to invest in and what they think is a proper value. The most important thing is that it does protect Americans' data security. It ensures TikTok is still accessible. And on this question of the algorithm, which we've heard this a lot, what this deal ensures is that the American entity and the American investors will actually control the algorithm. We don't want this used as a propaganda tool by any foreign government. We want to make sure that our people and our investors actually make these decisions based on what's good for their business as opposed to what's good for another government's propaganda arm. So that's what we've done with this deal. I think it's very good for the American people. And as the president said, young people love this. We actually want everybody to access this, whether they're MAGA or not. We just want it to be fair. We want it to be fair to everybody. And we think that's what's going to happen with this new arrangement.
So there you have the Vice President of the United States speaking in the Oval Office to President Trump's right and talking about what the new TikTok deal is going to do. It sounds like they're saying it's going to be safe and secure to use. The reason I am not on it and never have been is because I don't trust downloading it, and the terms of service that you have to agree to essentially gives the entirety of your phone, all the data, all the keystrokes, anything your phone can access over to the Chinese government. Hard pass for this girl right here. But I am interested in TikTok. I am interested in the show being on TikTok. I'm just not willing to go be there under those circumstances and terms. So I'm watching this closely and trying to determine, like, maybe the Any Fry show is about to come to TikTok, where everybody else is. It's like, we'll be the last ones to the party. But I wanted to ask you about this. You said that the videos. How old were you when you put those videos up on your TikTok account that you don't really use anymore?
19 or 20.
What is your experience of using TikTok? Why were you there, and why did you decide I'm going to delete this app from my phone?
The reason that I downloaded it was probably just because it was kind of the thing that everyone was using. At that point, you didn't have the Instagram Reels. You didn't have this. It was the start of the very quick, short videos, and you were seeing a lot of funny stuff coming from TikTok. And I was like, yeah, I want to check it out. So I downloaded it, and at that point, everyone.
Did you say it was COVID?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're a full ledger of things to do.
Correct. And after several months of having it, I realized just how much I was on it. I mean, it's so easy to just be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling for hours, and all of a sudden you blink and it's been several hours. I mean, during COVID, that was a thing, because, there was just nothing to do at first.
Other than make TikToks and watch TikToks.
Correct. Yeah. And eventually I was just like, okay, this is...
So you really made the decision because of your mental health?
Yeah. I was like, I'm on this too much. I need to get off this.
Did your peers do the same thing?
No. Not that I can
was kind of a
recall
you
at the
thing.
time. Yeah, it wasn't based around anyone else's decision to do so.
In looking at TikTok, what I've been able to consume of it, it's wild to me to talk to people who, the Charlie Kirk thing has brought this to my attention quite a bit. But people will say, like, they saw Charlie Kirk, they know Charlie Kirk from being on TikTok. He was on there and very effective at reaching people. I think somebody, I don't know who said it here, but someone on our chat said, never been on TikTok, will never be on TikTok. And I understand that a lot of the people, it's impressive that some of these people who are retired, who are experienced in age, we'll say it that way, of which I would include myself in that in my 40s. Most people who are probably in their 40s and older have kind of settled into a social media load that they're comfortable with. Like, these are the places I'm willing to keep up with. X for me is a professional necessity, and I find myself scrolling through X at times going, this doesn't ever end. We talked about this, I think, a little bit with the Charlie Kirk stuff. And as we were watching, we got the news that he had been shot we got the news that he had been shot before we got like news that he had been shot. And so we're scrolling and we're refreshing over and over and over again, trying to get the information, because the second that it's reported, it will be everywhere on X first.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So then once you find out, for us, it was the Daily Mail that reported it first. You find out that it's been reported and it's real. This is a real story. Now, what's the gravity and the magnitude of it? We don't know. Scroll, 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 refresh, refresh, refresh. And then all of a sudden, we are in with our own eyes and ears seeing what happened happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a healthy thing.
No.
It's actually, I think for a lot of people, I think a lot of people are realizing that we have too much information. And, you know, we all work in our own little, you know, everybody listening to the show, you have things that you need to know. You need to stay up on. You need to understand. And so we all have our lanes of reasons why we need to be over-informed and deeply informed on whatever that particular lane is. Ours is news. I was going to say unfortunately, but it's not unfortunate. I'm blessed to have this job, and I'm grateful for it.
There are times when it sucks, though.
But it is the cost of doing business, and it's too much. And I'm still thinking, like, I don't even need I did not need to see that. And in the studio, I don't know, Ethan, if you were in here, but Brad was in here, Ryan was in here, of course. Ryan saw the video of the actual shot hitting him, saw it first, and he was like, there's no way that he survived that. And I said, I don't want to see it. Don't show it to me. I don't want to see it. I don't need to see it. I've learned that being in this business now for almost 20 years, that I don't need to see everything with my own eyes to believe it or to report on it. Like, there are some things that I can just be told, and if I'm being told from a place of integrity that this is what happened, I'm going to take that, and I don't need to have all the information just because it's available. But I'm 40. I've lived some life right now. I think we all in here have an understanding of how sick the world is and how depraved the world is. There are kids accessing this stuff who don't know that yet. They're not capable of processing that. I'm not capable of processing that. There are people who saw what happened to Charlie Kirk happen, who have worked in law enforcement, who have been in the military, who have seen things in their life, and they're not prepared to see that type of stuff. If TikTok becomes something that is not like a threat to the United States of America from a foreign adversary, we have to, as parents, be focusing in on the threat that it is in the palm of our child's hand, unsupervised, unvetted, because I don't really know any adults who have a really firm grasp on keeping social media in the tiny space in life where it belongs. It infiltrates our work environment. We have responsibilities to be on social media for various things or to consume things from social media for various things. And so, like, I think the more mature you get, the more grown you get, the more you understand that it is my responsibility to actively police what I'm allowing myself to access. But still, at the same time, you know that it can very quickly be a problem. And there are TikTok profiles out there that you can see publicly. There are TikTok profiles out there that you can see privately. But when I see what youth are doing, you know, we've talked about the emo movement. I don't know if, like, how old were you when emo was a thing?
Oh, geez, pretty young.
Like, when you became of an impressionable age, that was a yesterday
thing. Yeah, that
was
beyond, yeah.
We have been living in, I would say, decades, probably 2 decades, of culture where victimhood is the greatest strength you have, which is a weird kind of oxymoronic sentence to even say out loud, but it's true. Your victimhood, whatever you can claim as your marginalized accessory is the number one thing you should talk about. It should be the number one thing about you. And on social media, there are so many children who are putting these things out on social media. And I say children. I'm basically saying if you're under 18, you're a child. They put things out there that I can kind of remember, like when I was in high school, if there was something that was if somebody was down, if somebody was being bothered by something, if somebody was pining after somebody who wasn't returning the affection or whatever, we didn't have social media to like tell the world that. So you'd kind of maybe share it with some of your friends, but that was a human to human exchange where if you were getting to a place where it was, Ethan, I think we need to sit down and talk about this, or Ethan, you need to cheer up, or how can I cheer, just having another human person-to-person contact could kind of help keep you at bay, anchored in something that was real. Kids are putting things out right now. I look at TikTok culture for kids. A lot of it is attention seeking. And then I ask myself, well, isn't that what adults are doing when they post things on social media? Yeah, for the most part. It's attention seeking, but to what end? And if you're trying to seek out the attention, whose attention are you trying to seek out? And if you, that escalates. The attention, the victimhood that you put out, or the thing that you're putting out, like you're trying to bury your soul, like we're all burying our souls. It's good to talk about stuff. It's good to acknowledge things that are going on in your life, and it's good to be supported by that. But if those conversations only happen in vague posts on social media to get people who say, comment on your social media post to say, like, love you, over and over and over again, that's not actual human contact. Our children are so lonely. They're so lonely. They are in a relationship with their devices where they can reach the entire world. They can have access to all the people, and yet no personal connection with any of them. And I'm looking at TikTok right now, and the reason it's not on my phone and it's never been on my phone is because of China. That's why it's never been on mine. But the reason it's not on my kids' phones, the reason they don't have access to it is certainly because of that. But I don't know what we're doing handing this stuff over to our children, because everybody else is doing it. Snapchat is another one. The amount of predatory behavior, the amount of pictures of children that are being sent to other children that are nude pictures because they're asked for. I mean, the stuff that is taking place in these circles, people don't talk about it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm saying these things, and there are people listening right now who you would never believe have a kid who's experienced extortion, sextortion, who's shared a picture that they deeply regret. It's like a commonplace thing today. Mm-hmm. The way children interact with one another, the things that they access, the amount of pornography that your very well-behaved but yet curious kids can just have access to on the internet in all of these places is devastating. And we all think it's not going to happen to us, and then it does, and then you're ashamed of it, and then you don't talk about it, and then we're all living these like parallel lives, but we're not understanding that. Why are we putting this in the hands of our children? Like, why are we not saying no more often? The government can't come in and say no. Like, is TikTok brain rot for our youth? It is brain rot for our youth, but that's not Donald Trump's job to tell you to keep TikTok out of your kids' hands. And then you're the bad guy because you didn't give your kid TikTok. Or you use TikTok, so you feel like you're a hypocrite. You're an adult. You can do what you want. You've lived the life to be able to do that. But our kids are so lonely. The epidemic of lonely children who don't feel like they can relate to anyone because everything they relate to is through a screen, which is edited and filtered so that that person presents themselves in the most attractive way. Nothing is real. And TikTok, like, there's going to be a surge of people who are going to get on TikTok after this deal is done. And I might be one of them. But I am lamenting 10 years from now when the children who are a little bit younger than you, Ethan, grow up and reflect in their adult life on what this social media did to them as a child, the things they were exposed to at such a young age. There's going to be a reckoning of truth that comes out that talks about how these kids, how lonely and sad it was. They're connected to everybody, but they're connected to nobody at the same time. I wish there was something I could think of to do about it. All I can do is talk about it, but I feel like I'm always the bad guy in it.
There is a lack of understanding for today's parents as to just how dangerous it is. And I understand that to a certain extent because, my parents, you didn't grow up with a phone in your pocket, with access to the world in your pocket.
I had a phone at 16. It had literally 30 minutes a month that I could talk on it, and it had Snake. It was a Nokia with an American flag faceplate, I might add.
Parents today, most parents today, are not aware of just how much is available within a few clicks of a button. And it is scary. And I hope that my generation, knowing now just how accessible so much is, that there is going to be more care with how cell phones are handled to their children eventually. I hope.
I want to talk a little bit more about that in depth and get your thoughts on this because there is a clip that's going around. Of course, Charlie Kirk clips are going around like crazy right now, but there's one that talks about pornography. And I want to talk about that when we come back. I'm not going to play it because I think it's too graphic for our audience, but I want to discuss it. And then at 2:30, we're going to do Ask Us Anything. So get your questions into the Annie Fry YouTube chat, and we'll answer your questions at the bottom of the hour. Don't go away. We'll be right back. CiviaLaw.com. I love being able to talk to you about this in an advertisement like this right now because I'm basically triggering the opportunity for you to save $300. Right now, if you call Civia Law, he's got 7 locations in Illinois and Missouri combined. Edwardsville, East Alton, Swansea, Centralia, Mount Vernon, Wentzville, Creve Coeur. If you've been thinking about creating an estate plan, a trust, wills, powers of attorney, if you've been thinking about this, you can call Civia Law right now, and the first 10 people to call who mention my name are going to get their strategy session fee waived. It's a $300 value, but you just need to call right now and get your appointment on the books, and then you don't have to pay for that strategy session with Civia Law. That's where my husband and I went to establish our trust. I hope you will as well. Here's the number to call. Be one of the first 10 callers right now. Mention Annie and save the fee on that strategy session. 833-995-WILL. 833-995-WILL. One more time, 833-995-WILL. Call Civia Law. Tell them Annie sent you and save on that strategy session. CiviaLaw.com.
Are you nearing retirement and don't know if you have enough money saved to retire? That is scary. Do you have a written retirement financial plan in place? Well, when it comes to retirement planning, the trusted team at Financial and Tax Architects are the best. They've helped people all over St. Louis retire with confidence. And that's what you want. You want to retire with confidence. Now, they offer a one-night, 2.5-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. They hold these at colleges over the St. Louis area and in Illinois. No cost, no obligation, just learning. And at this class, you learn how to avoid costly mistakes, how to maximize your income, how to reduce taxes in retirement. So call them today, 314-888-5101, or visit fta-ria.com and take the first step toward a smarter retirement. 314-888-5101.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food. Crazy. Enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Stop smoking. Lose weight now without craving, irritability, or your money back. Early bird special, only $49.99 guaranteed. Join Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar and lose the weight. Stop smoking. Feel great for only $49.99 guaranteed. Saturday, October 18th at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar, 11 a.m. Registration, 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar, 2 p.m. Learn more at markpatrickseminars.com. That's right, markpatrickseminars.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. If you're a renter, make sure you're protected. Renter's insurance includes options that cover stolen property, personal injury, and living expenses if your place is damaged. Quote Renter's Insurance at Progressive.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Never mentions the word addiction.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've been talking about the TikTok deal that is looking like it's done or going to be done very shortly. I'm curious how many of you folks have TikTok. It'd probably be a good poll. I think we've done this poll before when TikTok has been a major source of conversation with the initial potential that it was going to be banned. They were speaking about it from the Oval Office. Was this today or was this yesterday?
From the Oval Office was yesterday.
Yesterday. So they're working on getting this deal done. It's as if they do have one done. And most people are wondering, if you're like me, like, okay, is it safe to do this? Am I like in cahoots with China when I sign up now for... You okay over there?
I'll be okay.
Did you drop your phone? What does it mean now that this is all in different hands? Here's Donald Trump.
On the algorithm, it's still being leased coming from China. Are you satisfied that there's no security concerns?
Yeah, I am. I really am.
It would push disruptive
The biggest reason is that it's owned by Americans, and very sophisticated Americans, and people that love the country, and very smart Americans too. So they don't want anything like that to happen. Yes.
So you have President Trump there saying that there are no security concerns with TikTok after this new deal is finalized. I said I was going to talk briefly here. There's a clip going around. I don't know what the podcast is or what the show is or whatever. It's that panel. It's like a table full of girls.
It's the Whatever podcast, I believe, is what it is.
Yes. What is the premise? What is the premise for that? Do you know? Because I've only ever seen clips of it, and
what I know is that I think this guy's name is Brian Atlas. He is the main guy,
and I know there was a guy.
He's the host. And there tends to be a lot of young streamers, OnlyFans models, girls that very much so are
promiscuous.
Yes.
Like, I mean, isn't that I understand that the lens that I've seen clips from this for, they're always about young women being very sexually active and proud of it.
And usually he will have an expert that more so aligns on his side, whether it be a guy or a girl, that is more so of the traditional mindset. And a lot of times they're having...
So the host of the podcast is a traditional person?
I wouldn't say he's like a Christian or aligns with like necessarily Christian views, but he's much more like... he very much so pushes back against like modern promiscuous culture in women.
Well, they had Charlie Kirk in there.
Yes.
And... You know, I've seen clips where they're. I think Charlie Kirk was asking him about like how many abortions happen, and one of the girls was like a year, and he's like, I don't know, tens of thousands or thousands or something like that. And it's like millions. But the initial part of one of the exchanges that's taken place that I've come across many times is Charlie Kirk says that he struggled with pornography. He says that. He says that out loud, and I'm thinking to myself, like, for everybody who's been championing Charlie Kirk for the last 2 weeks, like, you have to understand who he was, that he was a human being with the same sort of struggles and temptations that the rest of us have dealt with, maybe different iterations of it. But he talks about it, and it's kind of like the setup to the point that he's trying to make, because there's a girl there who is an OnlyFans girl, I guess. And she makes a crude comment back to him, and that's why I'm not playing it, because it's just too crude. It's not really... It doesn't really serve a purpose. But the reason why this clip has hit me very hard, because if Charlie Kirk is out there openly saying that there was a time in his life where he had a struggle with this, why would anybody out there who has, a young son or a young daughter not be very keenly aware that the temptations are natural, first and foremost. Magazines in gas station shelves have been around forever. Magazines have been under mattresses and headboards for quite some time, or tucked up in closets. Like, the idea of pornography is not a new thing, but the accessibility of it is wild. And what it can do with the accessibility that young people can have towards pornography, what it can do to their brains, they're going to be super ashamed of it. They're going to be secretive about it. Your kid's going to start changing. Your kid's going to start seeing the world differently. They're going to have probably an addiction to what they see, but they're also going to have great shame to seeing it. So where do they go with that? It's so dangerous. There's a video that I just saw. I can't remember who posted it. I wanted to share it. I think it was somebody in my personal Facebook feed. I'll have to go back and find out. But it's a dad who walks into his son's bedroom, and his son looks like he's maybe like 12 or 13. Doesn't look like a young man as much as an older boy. And he walks in and he's like telling his son goodnight. And he's like, just want you to know that every sort of pornography that you could ever possibly access to the greatest extent is going to be right over here in the corner of your room. And here's a Russian spammer sitting next to your bed who's going to be trying to get your phone number while you sit here and here. And it's just like listing all of the different things. Here are the girl bullies in your class who are ready to judge you for everything. And it's like the father is putting his son to sleep in his bedroom with all of these people closing the door and leaving. That's what happens when you leave your phone in a child's hand, unsupervised, in their bedroom at night. It's the same thing. It's so dangerous. And then kids get into these cycles. The worldview that you can have, if you get in a TikTok algorithm that you can't really elbow your way out of, or you're not like intellectually trying to process and challenge all of these things, it's so scary for children who can be exposed to these things. And they don't know. They're not equipped to process it. That's like you don't give a 14-year-old a 6-pack of beer. They're not equipped to process it. It's dangerous. It's okay for adults to do it, to have a drink, but adults need to do it in moderation too. You expect an adult to understand how to handle that. I just wanted to know, Ethan, your experience or like your thoughts as a younger man who's grown into adulthood and probably come up with this more than Brad and I did, because we didn't grow up with this kind of accessibility. And I know you're a man of faith. I just wonder what kind of advice and encouragement you have for people who are listening or could be listening, that all of the accessibilities that are out there for those kids, and what you would want parents to know that they probably haven't really come to grips with yet. Do you have thoughts on that?
That's a good question. I would start with don't let your kids charge their phones in their rooms at night. That's definitely a very good one. I think that what I have learned and witnessed a lot of is I think that there is a fear. I don't even know if it's a fear, but there is a hesitancy for parents to take conversations to that level with their kids and saying, hey, this is a real thing. This is a real battle. And you don't have to do it alone. Knowing that, like, you know, no matter how hard you try as a parent to guard your kids, you're only ever going to have so much control. Right? I mean,
with or without the internet. That's just life. Yeah. They're
going to go to school for 8 hours a day and you have zero control of what their friends show them or what their friends do. It's a harsh reality. So what I would really encourage to parents out there is don't be afraid or don't hesitate to go to your kid, and rather than coming down in a punishment of, hey, if I catch you doing this, then this is going to happen. Yes, not to say that discipline is a good thing. It definitely is. But with this, the worst thing with pornography that I have learned is fighting that battle alone. Because when you're alone and isolated, it feels like you can't talk to anyone about it, and it just festers and it gets bigger and worse. And taking it to a spiritual level, that's what the devil wants. Mm-hmm. He wants that to be kept in the dark and kept away from people. when it's exposed to the light, then there is accountability and there is encouragement and challenge and also reminder of the truth. You know, there's so much shame that gets built up in that. So for parents, I think the biggest thing that I would encourage and challenge is, you know, walk through that with your kid, you know, and there's things that you can do to guard and protect. I've already begun to process, like, man, at what point am I going to let my kid have a phone? And it's going to be way later than when I got my first phone.
When did you get your first phone?
I was 12 when I got my first phone. So don't let your kids walk through that alone, but also be very guarded and protected as to your willingness to give them access to social media.
Yeah.
Those would be my two biggest things.
There's a phone, there's the internet, and there's social media. They're three different things, and you need to be specific when you're talking about these things with your children about what you're discussing. Like, my kids would be like, I want a phone, I want a phone. I'm like, no, you don't. You want the internet. You want a device. You don't want to talk to people on the phone.
I think parents are too afraid to say no.
Oh, my God.
And it ends up doing more damage to your child than you can ever imagine.
It's very scary to say no because everybody else is doing it. And that sounds lame, but everybody else is doing that. And then you get stories like this. Kay, I'm just going to say Kay. I'm not going to put her up there, but our daughter wasn't allowed on Snapchat. We monitored her activity. We found out she had bought an old smartphone for $50 from a friend and accessed all the apps she wasn't allowed to have. I've heard that story so many times. People talk about burner phones. Burner phones used to be like for crime. Now that's just for kids who have overprotective parents. And they get a burner phone and a Wi-Fi password. And then they have access to whatever they want, and they're doing it to hide it from you. I mean, these kids are curious. There's a ton of pressure out there. And it's like I understand where they're coming from, but gosh, they need guidance. And we need to not be putting the weapon in their hand and walking away. That's a soapbox for me. All right, real quick break. We're going to do Ask Us Anything next, and we'll just take it into the top of the hour with the poll results of today's poll. Is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? Justice, revenge, or why not both? Go vote. We'll be right back. Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. Shop for flooring with people who are going to love to see you, love to hear that you came from 97.1 or the Annie Fry Show. They've got all the products that you are looking for, probably a lot more than you even are looking for. If you are thinking about carpet, Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line of carpet, they have a silky softness that is so comfortable under your bare feet in your house. Like, what's more cozy than that, especially going into those winter months, to be able to get down on the floor, play with the grandkids, and be comfortable and enjoy that superior performance that the Mohawk Silk line of carpeting can offer you. A ton of different kinds of finishes. And of course, when you go in and shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet, you're going to be able to experience all the different displays, feel the different levels of padding that you can put under a carpet, and shop so that you make a really educated decision on a great value on a quality product. Michael's Flooring Outlet is in 3 different places in the St. Louis area. Shop them in St. Charles County and West County, also in Darting Prairie. But you can start your shopping process online right now at igotfloored.com.
I'm Kristen Press. And I'm Tobin Heath. We're World Cup winners, Olympians, and the hosts of The Recap Show.
Every week, we sit down with the icons, disruptors, and game changers on the field and beyond it to talk victories, heartbreaks, and everything in between.
We've built a space where athletes, change makers, and people creating the future of women's sports can show up and show off as their full, unapologetic selves.
Follow and listen to The Recap Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant health care program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Stop just trying to paint and patch up the outside of your home. It's time to give it a permanent upgrade with James Hardy Fiber Cement siding from Lakeside Renovation and Design. This siding is designed to stand up to all the crazy weather we get here in Missouri, and it looks fantastic. Lakeside is a James Hardy elite preferred contractor. Whole team, by the way, is in-house, and they're going to take care of all the details, the color, the trim, everything to customize it to your home, to take the stress off of your plate. If your home is showing any signs of wear, it's time to take the next step. Visit lakesiderd.com.
Attention St. Louis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more.
A family member or friend that gets paid weekly. This Medicaid program is available to eligible St. Louis residents.
New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the St. Louis area,
this service is available through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid weekly. So go to freedomcare.com now, or for faster service, call 314-697-4912, 314-697-4912. That's 314-697-4912.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Today's YouTube live chat poll. Is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? We've got 3 options: justice, revenge, or why not both? Jump on Annie's YouTube page. We're going to read those poll results here at the end of this segment. But jump on Annie's YouTube page, get your vote in, vote the way you think that this is going, and then leave us a comment telling us why you voted the way you voted. The time is 2:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From Cottleville to Maryville, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Next question.
Question.
It's a legitimate question.
Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
All right, this is where we get to answer your questions and each other's questions and just kind of let it go where it goes. Brad, you got a question to start us off here today?
Yeah, and I'll go kind of light here. What is your favorite sports moment, you playing, you as an athlete? What is your favorite memory of sports?
Do you
like
have one?
A moment.
I think this is going to be really funny because this is how you know that I was like at best an average athlete because my memory was like 5th grade.
Yeah, that's okay.
We were playing in a big tournament, baseball, and I had a walk-off base hit.
Oh, that's great.
And it was like that. Throw your helmet, everyone runs at you and is dogpiling on you.
That's what it's about.
I was never the best player on my team. I was a good baseball player, especially when I was younger.
You were what we call not a liability.
I was the bat in the 9 spot and get on base
Yeah.
50% of the time. And so,
You
but
know-
but the attention was never on me.
Yeah.
So that was a super cool moment. That's what I would say.
Didn't Tony La Russa like his second leadoff guy in the 9 spot?
Brendan Ryan, baby.
What was yours, Brad?
It was the first over the fence home run I ever hit. So like you hit the little league home runs and stuff like that,
Goosebumps.
but the first time you hit a ball over the fence, and this was awesome because it was a grand slam. So it wasn't just an over the fence home run. The bases were loaded. I walked up and I was like, "I'm just gonna go over here." And
How old
do
were
this.
you?
I was 20. So I didn't hit the home runs growing up. I was a base hit average guy.
Uh-huh.
And so I got out there, and this ball wasn't like a moonshot or anything like that. It was a line drive that never dropped. It just went straight down the left field line and over the fence.
A runner-up would have occurred for me just a couple weeks ago when I was on a bachelor party, and we played 7-on-7
I
football.
heard you were throwing dots.
I was throwing some dots. I had a crazy bobbled interception. I mean, I stepped up big time. That was up there. I was like, still got it.
Are you more likely to brag about the 5th grade version of you or the last week at a bachelor party?
Oh,
version of you?
totally bachelor party, balling it up in football.
'Cause that's
100%.
I don't know. I have this weird thing in my life. Maybe I should see a therapist, but I don't have memories. I don't have like distinct memories of my childhood. I can remember feelings, and the feelings and the excitement that I had often were surrounding the people I was with at the time. But like having those those very like burned in your memory moments where I remember every single detail of an accomplishment that I had. In 8th grade, I won state in track, in shot put, and discus for 8th grade. That's pretty cool. I'm
pretty legit.
kind of embarrassed about it, so I don't really talk about it very much. In basketball, we played in the 3rd place in the state championship game. That was really exciting. Lost by 2 to Arlington Heights. Jerks.
Ooh.
Those Lutherans in Arlington Heights. No, I mean
losers.
we had a really great team, and I loved that season. And when I was in 7th grade, I was on the volleyball team that played in a state championship volleyball game. We lost in 3 to Roselle. So that I've played in. I didn't play in the 7th grade when I was on the team. My moments that I can think of the most are just kind of like the time I spent with my teammates and my coaches. That it's just kind of a vibe. I don't know. Maybe I didn't have anything that was particularly spectacular, but I can tell you, like, when my husband and I were coaching at Zion Bethalto at the Lutheran School in Bethalto.
Good old B-Town. Went to preschool there.
2014, I believe. My husband did too. 2014 state basketball tournament. We went up there. I think we ended up getting 6th place overall. I don't think the school had ever played maybe at the state tournament for girls basketball. Maybe, I don't know. But we were what would the opposite of the 3rd seed be? 16, 15, 14. I guess we were the 14 seed, and we were playing the 3rd seed. And we won in double overtime.
Oh, that's so sick.
And we won on a left-handed layup on a play that we...
Which at that grade probably happens like 20% of the time. Those work.
And like when I think about that, like right now, I have the chills thinking about that. And I was the assistant coach. And Jared's like, we're going to run this play or whatever. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. They'll never be able to do it.
A left-handed layup? Are you crazy?
You got to keep it as simple as possible. He's like, no, we can do it. Like, he's got total faith. And I'm like, it will never work. And it won. And we upset the 3rd place team. And we went on to play in the 5th place game. We lost to Edwardsville, Trinity Edwardsville, which is where I went to school. So I have so many memories like that. My son hit a grand slam in his 7th grade year against Good Shepherd Lutheran Collinsville, and it was a Lutheran school game. He hit a grand slam, and it's like the pinnacle of his baseball career. In the bottom of the whatever inning they were in at the end of the game, he's like, I hit a grand slam, and we lost 18-16. It's one of our favorite sports stories in our family. But he's still that grand slam is special to him.
It's great.
I feel like just as much now, especially for like the field that we're in, we could have this about moments in the field too, like top most memorable moments of your broadcasting careers. Are there any that stand out to you guys?
I mean, I was in the White House press room. That was really crazy. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was there.
Yeah, do you still have Memories of that? That hasn't
Yeah.
disappeared yet?
I have more memories of my adult life.
Okay.
But people will be like, I have people who come to me and talk to me about like inside jokes that we used to have, and I'm like, I don't
remember.
I don't
Sorry.
remember. No, I don't know what. There's probably a psychological reason to it, but I just don't really have a lot of memories. Covering probably the number one memory I have of broadcasting is before I was on the show. Before the show was a midday show. It was the 2016 election and covering Donald Trump's win and being with the crew, of which I don't know that any of them work here any longer, but being at the radio station till 2 a.m. watching these states go for Donald Trump, and we're all looking on 97.1, like in the background. We're covering everything live as results are coming in, and we're going, holy crap. Donald Trump is going to, like, what do we do now? What do we do at the station now? Because we were all kind of gearing up. Like, I don't think any of us really thought. I don't think we had considered that Donald Trump was going to win that election. They said that day on all the news channels that Hillary had a 97% chance of winning or something like that. And being able to be a part of that with the team that had poured so much into it and experiencing that, I mean, that is something. I remember looking at the television in my boss's office. I remember being in the studio, and we were all just like staring at each other with these goofy smiles on our faces, like, we have to cover this, but we have to experience this as well. What about you guys? Major broadcasting moments?
Oh, man. The first day that I walked into the studio to do the job was kind of
it was all downhill
it
from
was
there.
kind of wild because like it was something that was never on my radar as an adult, and to come in and to, have been a fan of the show, to work with it, and then seeing the Ryan Wiggins and the Annie Fry in the studio, and it's like, oh yeah, you're going to be co-workers with those. That was like an out-of-body experience. But I think really the coolest thing, and Annie, you mentioned it earlier, was being able to get that White House press pass. Whenever I reached out to Will to get that, it wasn't my specific request, and he suggested that. And then I was like, all right.
Will Scharf,
yeah. And it was like, that is phenomenal. Let's do this. Let's see how we can make this work.
Cool.
And then going through the whole process and then finally giving you the envelope to open on air was super cool.
Ethan?
Let's see. Top moments. I would say that getting to do, during my time with the Cardinals, I was able to do 3 on-field interviews that were broadcasted live over the stadium.
Yeah.
Jumbotron. That was pretty surreal. I do play-by-play for Lindenwood football. Last year they upset the number 6 team in the FCS, which at the time was Southeast Missouri State. That was pretty crazy. That was pretty awesome to cover. And honestly, I would put up there right with those. It was this year's election. I was the last one here on that night.
That's cool.
I think I wrapped up our local coverage because I think at that point Mark had left, and I think everyone else had left by the time that they actually called it. So I didn't have anyone to celebrate with. So I'm just kind of like texting all my buddies like, this is pure insanity. But that was unlike probably anything I'll ever experience again here. They don't happen very often, and by the next one, I don't expect to still be in conservative talk radio. So I think those would probably be the 3.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you guys the last question for the day. Is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? Justice, revenge, or why not both? Your options on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Brad, what are your thoughts on this one?
I am going to go with why not both. I think that, it is very much justice, and if you're going to go after the king, you best not miss. And they went after the king, that being Donald Trump, and they missed. They trumped up charges. They didn't have the opportunity to put him away. And then they left themselves wide open by doing stupid stuff like what Comey did. Comey lied. The allegation is that he lied before Congress. And if you are going to do that, you have to know, you can't be that arrogant to know that they wouldn't be coming for you or that they wouldn't be looking at that. There's an arrogance that went with it. And I am super, I don't know. I feel like it's revenge, but it's justice because he actually is being accused of something legit.
I'm going to say justice just because the people who have set this up to look like revenge, they're the people who were manufacturing crimes against Donald Trump, and the fact that they were committing them, apparently, allegedly, at the time, that's a huge problem for me. So justice is, no one is above the law. Those are their terms. So I'm going to say it's justice. Ethan, you want to give us the results here?
259 votes on today's YouTube live chat poll. Is James Comey's indictment the pursuit of justice or revenge? Only 5% alone say revenge. 41% say why not both. 54% say solely justice.
All right. Well, we thank you for being with us here today. A reminder, if you stream the station on the Odyssey app, AUDACY, Mark Reardon will take over here in just a minute. And you can continue to listen to 97.1 right there on the Odyssey app. Anywhere you go, anytime. Crystal clear connection. Let's take a quick break and hand it over to the Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk next.
So, pour another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, fire the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me?
Mark Cox here. Let me introduce you to my friends at the Lit Cigar Lounge in St. Louis, where luxury meets comfort. Premium hand-rolled cigars, an extensive selection of rare bourbons and whiskeys and craft cocktails. It's comfortable for non-smokers, too. They have a state-of-the-art ventilation system. They have private lockers and live music every Friday night, perfect for date nights or business meetings or just winding down. Visit litstl.com. When it comes to roofing, you can't go wrong with Corel Roofing. Mark Cox here. My friend Curtis Corel came out, looked at my roof, worked with my insurance adjuster. I got a new roof, new gutters, and even new screens on some of my windows. Curtis specializes in working with insurance companies. Even if you've been denied, he's often able to work with these insurance adjusters to